All right, so let's just get into it. All right, this is the dual funnel system workshop. For those of you that don't know what the dual funnel system is, maybe you haven't heard of it, haven't used it before, haven't seen anyone use it. It's just two funnels. So what my team did is we automated lead acquisition, and then we realized booking was the number one thing that people were trying to get people to do when we're acquiring leads, whether that's booking an estimate, booking a quote, booking a consultation, booking an appointment. So we blended our two biggest funnels together as one funnel, causing, making it the dual funnel system. Behind the dual funnel
Recording in
system,
progress.
there's a
There's a
series of
series of
automations and workflows and everything else that basically try to walk this customer on a journey without you, right? So the number one thing that you'll hear a lot of people say is the money is in the follow-up. Like, you earn everything in the follow-up, and that's depending on how well you know your customer journey, depends on how well your follow-up is going to be able to, you know, flow and work and convert for you. So the idea before you get it, and then I see a lot of people do this backwards. Like, most of the time, people will go looking for the software or the solution before they write their customer journey, right? They're like, hey, what's the best CRM for my business? What's the best platform for my business? What's the best thing for my business to do this? But you haven't just defined your customer journey. So for us, before we can build a dual funnel system for anyone, we have to define, like, what is that customer journey? What is that avatar journey? What's the exact, like, journey we want to take them on, from downloading the lead magnet to getting on your calendar to following up with you to get on your calendar? Do you have a free course? Do you have a lead magnet? Like, what does that journey look like from the minute they see you online to the minute they're consuming your content or consuming your business, to the minute they're getting on the phone with you, to, getting that product or service from you, utilizing that product or service, and then hopefully telling everybody they know about you and your product and service. And hopefully they're good things that they're sharing with people. Right. So until you define that customer journey, you really don't know what the automation needs to look like. You don't know what the system needs to look like. And since you don't know what the system and the automations need to look like, it's hard for you to say, this is the piece of software that's going to work for me, or this is the piece of software that's going to do it for me. Because there is no, magic button. There is no silver bullet. There's no, like, thing that you're going to be able to just buy and it's going to be the perfect thing that's going to work for your business every single time. Uh, no matter what system or software that you get, if you don't take the time to jump into the customer journey and define that customer journey and build the automation around that, then you're going to always struggle with, like, what's the right CRM to get, or what's the right program to get, or what's the right whatever to get. Want you guys to welcome my partner to the call. If you get, for those of you that don't know him, it's Zach RY Williams. He's a little late. I guess it's a Saturday. He didn't want to show up either for you guys. So,
Dang, bro, it ain't like that. I
uh,
apologize. I allowed my time zones to mix me up, but
yeah,
I'm here now,
we
baby.
always get fucked up on the time zone, but you came in at the perfect time, Zach. We're talking about the customer journey and how before we build a dual funnel system for anyone, they have to get their customer journey locked in, because we don't know how the automation is supposed to be or how the automation needs to be built until we take some time to sit down and map out the customer journey. This is actually one of the reasons, one of the biggest reasons Zach and I partnered together. For those of you that don't know, Zach and I merged our companies on January 1st of this year. And that's because my team and I were pumping out the dual funnel system like crazy for all kinds of people. And then they'd come back to us and they'd say, Marv, I'm still not getting leads, and I'm still not getting appointments. Like, what's the deal? I thought it was high quality leads on autopilot, fill in your calendar, right? Well, I fill my calendar with hot quality leads on autopilot because I'm running paid traffic and I've defined my customer journey. You don't just build a funnel and website and now you're magically going to start getting leads and start getting sales and conversions. No, you have to fucking run traffic to it, and you have to optimize that traffic, and you have to look at how people are interacting on that journey and changing the message and keeping it the right message to the right person at the right time. So since we were struggling so much with like, well, we can build you the best fucking system in the world, but if we don't run traffic to that system, then the system's pretty useless. And this is where Zach and the ROI marketing firm comes in hand, because they had the opposite problem that we were having, where they're defining the customer journey. They're pumping tons and tons of traffic for their clients. They're running their social media management. They're creating engaging content and engaging blogs. And all of his clients are saying, we can't handle the heat, Zach. We need to cancel because, we're booked out 6 months now, and we can turn off all the marketing, because they didn't have any systems in the back end to support all this heat that they are now getting from a marketing firm running traffic for them. And so we decided to merge together and create the dual funnel system, the coveted offer that brought you guys to this workshop. And if it wasn't the dual funnel system, maybe you just saw Zach or myself posting about it and you wanted to join us to come check it out. But that's what these workshops are about. Is it's going to be Zach and I bouncing off of each other, where I'm the systems engineer and Zach is he's the face. He's the one that is going to tell you how to define the customer journey, to drive the traffic, to bring them in. And basically, we know everything in life boils down to time or money, right? And one of my core principles is money should never be a reason that you can't implement what we do and make a change in your life and business with what we do. So we're going to host these workshops where maybe you don't have the money option, where that's hiring us to have us build the dual funnel system for you, but you can watch these and you have the time option where you can build it yourself. Through these workshops is the only way that you can get on the Automation Go platform now. That you either have to have us build a system for you, or you have to come participate in one of these workshops, and there's a special offer just for workshop participants to use the Automation Go platform, because this isn't just some fucking webinar where you guys are just listening to me fucking boost you up or something and tell you get excited and go back to working. Like, we're actually fucking digging into the dual funnel system. I want you guys to be able to get something out of this, actually implement it. Ideally, you're at a computer where you have like the Automation Go up on one screen, and you're actively going through your funnels and actively working on your customer journey and going through these things that we're going to be doing today. Because otherwise you're just going to be sitting there listening to me talk about a bunch of technical shit, and we aren't going to do anything with it, unless maybe you come back and watch the replay and pause and rewind and all that jazz. I don't know your life. I don't know how you like to learn, but let's get a little bit more into it. Zach, before I share my screen and we actually map out a live customer journey, what do you got to say about the importance of customer journey, and maybe some ideas of what you use whenever you're lost and you don't know exactly how to define what that is?
Yeah, no, that's a great question. So at the end of the day, you've got to understand that, I hate to say it, that you probably don't understand your customers as well as you think you do. And I don't mean that disrespectfully. I mean that by letting you guys know, I see massive organizations and multi-million-dollar operations feel like they know who their customer avatar is to a T. But when we actually get down to dissecting it, it's actually a lot of emotion attached to it. They think that they know their customers because it's who they think they want to attract, versus it may be someone that emulates them a lot more often than they think, right? Like, I'll just give you a quick example. We consulted a lady that was running a beautiful boutique and doing some pretty incredible numbers. She kept telling us who her targeted audience was. And when we finally got in there, because I know how to remove emotion out of things, we actually split test everything. And thank God we did, because this lady, I'm not knocking her, but she was, in her later 40s, thinking her ideal demographic for her boutique was late 20s to early 30s. However, subconsciously, that is who she was trying to live vicariously through. She wanted to be that late 20s, early 30s, younger lady. And so the clothes she was purchasing was to emulate that, but that's not really what that demographic wanted. So who was her clientele? Other ladies and their mid 40s who again wanted to look like these ladies that were late 20s, early 30s. So, the first things first is I have been doing this for 16 years. Mara's been doing it for 15 years. And we think we know, based on experience and what we've seen work in the past, what is gonna work. And if I was a betting man, I would probably put money that we would be right or close to right. But even us as experts, we will still split test the different demographics to see what the analytics and the data actually proves, because the analytics and the data are SiriusXM shows with SiriusXM. So 100%, I understand you are the expert in your field, but let the data be the true expert. Remove your emotion from it and split test. I would definitely dive into some consumer psychology. I'm sure Marv and I are going to get into this a little bit later for an offer for you guys to give you access to my course that is all about controlling the customer journey. I spent all of 2021 studying consumer psychology, and it's things that we don't even really take into consideration, the way color psychology actually works. And we'll even get into at some point, for more advanced tactics, discuss color psychology and split funnels for, male attributes and female attributes, as well as like however all that looks. How the copy interacts, because as you can imagine, men and women don't necessarily talk the same or receive the same. Also taking into consideration split testing, specific calls to action. For some reason, people are drawn to certain numbers versus others, right? If you have $1,000 product you're selling and you offer it for 10% off or $100 off, it is numerically the same value, but your customers will be attracted to one option versus the other, right? Same option means the same thing. All of it is exactly the same outcome for them. It acquires the same pain point and causes the same amount of pleasure, but subconsciously, psychologically, they're going to be drawn to one versus the other. I can tell you all day long what I think it's going to be, and I, with my experience, might be right. I still might be right. So I am going to test it. So therefore, we're going to walk y'all through making sure that y'all are testing all these things as well. You want me to go into anything else in any more detail at this point yet, Marv?
No, that's perfect. So guys, without further ado, we're going to jump into lining out a live customer journey. But before we do that, can we get some thumbs ups or some hell yes or something in the Zoom chat? Let us know you're still here, you're still with us, and you're ready to dive into the customer journey. While I'll wait for you guys to respond. If any of you guys have any questions so far, feel free to raise your hand while we're running through this, and we will always pause to answer any questions that you guys might have. Especially this is going to be going at 100 miles an hour. It's a lot of technical data. So I know it's easy to get lost in the weeds. So do not be scared to raise your hand while we're running through it. We'll pause real quick to answer questions and then jump back in. You guys ready to get started? I'm guessing so. All right, yeah, we got some. Yeah, boy. What's up, Dustin? Dimitri, got Orlando. I see we got Sean. He didn't say anything, but he's actually got his camera on and present. So thank you, Casey. All right. So let's dive into this. Oh, we got Garrett joining the room. So I use a tool called draw.io. It's a free open source tool, doesn't cost you anything to use. And is just like a mapping tool. You can use something called funnel analytics. You can use Guru is another good one. You can use and there, I mean, there's just so many. It's just like a little diagram to like fuck. You can use Microsoft Paint if you really wanted to do this. The idea is to just visually map out, what is this journey that you're about to go on with someone, right? So with the dual funnel system, there's typically one or two frameworks that we're going to install for you. You're either going to get a 4-page framework or a 6-page framework.
Yo,
And
you're on
it's,
the YouTube monitor, bro.
God damn it. Well, thank you for letting me know. What about now?
We're good.
Okay, what do you guys think of my YouTube choices? YouTube
That's
be,
always a scary thing when you share the wrong monitor, bro.
YouTube be running wild sometimes, man. You never know what the algorithm's gonna throw on the dashboard.
Do
Anybody
they
ever-
even have an algorithm? Because I swear I feel like they don't.
they do. It's just a SEO algorithm more than a detailed targeting algorithm. and so yeah, they be showing you some wild shit. But I've also seen things on YouTube based on their recommendations that I never knew existed. I was thankful for the wild shit that came at me. So all right. So the DFS framework, we're typically going to do 1 or 2 frameworks, either a 4-page framework or a 6-page framework. And the reason for that is you either have a lead magnet or you don't have a lead magnet. And so if you have a lead magnet, it's going to be a 6-page funnel. And if you don't have a lead magnet, it's going to be a 4-page funnel. And the reason for that is here, let me show you guys the backend framework of my DFS funnel. Right. So this is a 6-page funnel. And the reason it's 6 pages is because I'm focusing on the customer journey. Right. So whenever somebody is going through this funnel, on the front end, I'm inviting them to, hey, come get my dual funnel system training, right? So even though I want to put people on my calendar and have a sales call with them to figure out if it makes sense for us to build the dual funnel system for them, I'm not going to have them download the dual funnel system, then immediately send them to my calendar page, which is what I see a lot of people do when they're pushing lead magnets. And you do get people that book, right? We've put millions into running ads and testing the dual funnel system and the different frameworks that we use. And this is why we settled on it this way, because we have tested like lead magnet directly into a booking page and we get tons and tons of bookings. And then we also get tons and tons of no-shows, right? And then when I surveyed those people that no-showed me, you know what a lot of them said? They said, well, I booked the time because that's what popped up on the page. It was the next thing to do. It's not that I really wanted to book a time. It was the next thing to do. So I did the next thing. And I wanted to move through your funnel and see what else you had to offer. And so what we started doing was we added a simple step in the middle that is just inviting them to get on a call, right? So this is all part of defining the customer journey. I had to sit down and I had to say, well, if I'm not going to drive them directly to a calendar page, what is the thing that I want them to see? What is the message I want them to hear? Why is it that I want them to hear that message? What is the journey that we're going through together? Right. So we do a call invite page instead of driving them directly to the calendar. And then what happened? Obviously, we got less bookings, right? But the people that were booking after being invited and telling them, hey, I'd like you to hop on a call with me, they started being higher quality and actually showing up because now they intentionally hit a button saying, yes, I want to schedule a time with you. Right. So that's why it's a 6-page. instead of a 4-page when you have a lead magnet, because if you're going to go lead magnet, you got to pay attention to your customer journey and then take them directly into booking. But you don't even know if you need a 6 or a 4-page yet until we dial in what is that customer journey, right? So now are you guys kind of getting why it's important to map out that customer journey before you even dive into it? As so many people that download the dual funnel system and they spend 0 time on customer journey, and they're messaging me saying they can't figure out how to get their funnel to work, or they can't figure out how to get their traffic to their funnel, or they send people to their funnel and nobody's opt in, or the people that opt in aren't doing XYZ. And it's because nobody wants to do the hardest part, which is defining what the customer journey looks like and where you want to take them. Because I promise you, like, this is like creating a map here, right? It's like looking at the map, you're going to know exactly these are the workflows that I need to build, why I need to build them that way, because this is where I want to take them. And so the only thing that you have to decide first is, am I going to have a lead magnet or am I not going to have a lead magnet, right? And then this all obviously all depends on the product or service that you have to offer. If you're a coach or a consultant or somebody that maybe you have a course, maybe you do webinars like I'm doing, maybe you have, you know, a PDF that you put together, or maybe you want to put a PDF together. But the idea of a lead magnet is this is somebody's first introduction to you. This is their first time consuming something, and whatever you give them in the lead magnet, you want to give them enough that it showcases your expertise at whatever you're doing. It makes them know, like, and trust you, and it makes the next natural step working with you in some capacity, right? So like my lead magnet, the dual funnel system, it's literally my entire technical breakdown of how to build a dual funnel system for yourself, right? You can either do it yourself or you can pay us to build it for you. So obviously the next natural step is get on my calendar and hire us to build it for you, right? So we catered the entire dual funnel system training. Right here, I'll show you guys the back end of the dual funnel system follow-up. And so when you guys download the dual funnel system, as you can see, it's a full one. You're going to get access to the membership offer because different people learn in different ways. So we built a membership site. We send emails every day, and all the videos are on my YouTube. So no matter how you like to learn this shit, I try to give it to you in every method possible. Right. And so through this, we're going to be doing different booking checks, but I'm literally just taking you day one. I think it's a 37 or 31. It's a 31-day sequence of every day walking you through how to build the dual funnel system. But then all the call to actions in there are fairly natural call to actions. I'm not selling myself, at least I don't think I'm selling myself every day. You guys go through that sequence and think otherwise, you'll let me know. And so every day I'm giving like a detailed lesson on like, this is what you're going to learn from the dual funnel system today, what you need to implement. And then obviously the natural call to action is, if you're going through this and you can't figure it out, get on the calendar. And so the lead magnets I like to use are the ones where you can naturally write that follow-up sequence, right? Because when you think about, can I naturally follow up with somebody and message them every single day for a 30-day period and it not be weird or not be aggressive or not be pushy, right? Because when I tell people I can email my list every day, they look at me like, well, isn't that too much? Isn't that too aggressive? And no, really, the key to marketing is the right message to the right person at the right time. So it's all about, am I sending them a message they want to hear, right? Like we just launched a new 30-day challenge for Zach. We're hitting his list every single day through that challenge, but Zach has got nothing but love from his list. They want him to hit him every single day that he's going through this challenge. They're posting about it in his Facebook group. They're sending him personal DMs, and we're hitting them every single day. But that's because the lead magnet makes sense. Hey, we're going on a 30-day challenge together. And so we were able to write a 30-day journey where we're staying top of mind every day for 30 days. And it's natural. And so you might have a lead magnet, you might not have a lead magnet. I see the people I see use lead magnets the least are like service providers, are people that have no intention on coaching or no intention on teaching. Like, that's fine. You don't always have to be the person that's coaching and teaching. You don't have to be the guy that's teaching your tribe, so to speak, on YouTube. You just have to be you and deliver your expertise. So if you don't have any desire to run a Facebook group or a lead magnet and coaching and training, like, you don't have to do that. You just have to figure out if you want to do that and then write the journey accordingly. So once you figured out, actually, Zach, before I go into there, do you have anything to touch? I keep forgetting we're co-hosting this thing together. I'm
No,
just
you're good.
just
You're
hogging the
good.
mic.
No, you're totally good. I was actually responding to one of the comments asking about, would a private Facebook group or mastermind be considered a lead magnet? So guys, anything can be considered a lead magnet if it's adding value to the people. Right now, we could probably get into value ladders later on, but what we're going to explain to you about the DFS program, right, as the lead magnet itself needs to fall in line with whatever the offer is that you're going to be pushing them at the end of the funnel. So for example, let's use Stu Segura, for example. He is the sleep doctor, right? A big portion of what he sells is mattresses and, furniture for sleep. If he were doing a lead magnet that was something about
Hold on, I gotta mute whoever that is.
customer acquisition, it doesn't make sense. Or, giving something away. Sure, yeah, you might be able to give something of quote unquote value to someone away really, really easily, but a lot of people misinterpret marketing. They think marketing is just to attract the right customer. That is 50% of the objective. It is also to repel the wrong type of customer. You don't want to fill up your calendar with a bunch of people wasting your time or that are never going to buy from you. So we'll have discussions later on. And this goes back to the split test thing. Sometimes free loss leader, or pardon me, free value adds are great. It's a great thing to use as a lead magnet, but also you've now attracted a clientele that is looking for something for free, right? So you've got to be thinking about the end game here. Sometimes giving stuff away for free makes a lot of sense. But if you're going to be giving away something for free and then expect to close some high ticket sales off a bunch of leads that came in for something for free, that might be a hard obstacle. Versus even if it's something that's a loss leader. For those of you who don't know, McDonald's back in the day before there was value meals, they would sell their hamburgers for like 69 cents. Well, due to cost per acquisition and their marketing expenses and all their advertisements and stuff, they lost money on you buying that 169-cent hamburger. However, when you bought fries and a Coke, now they're profitable. Now they got you. So a loss leader is something that you're either selling for a cost or you might lose a little bit of money on, but the math makes sense later on when you look at, let's say you got a 10% close rate on your high ticket item, or a 20%, 30%, 50%, or even maybe 5% or 1%. If the math makes sense and you are actually profitable at the end of it, that's what we're going for, right? So just make sure whatever this lead magnet is, make sure it falls in line with your value ladder, which, let's just say maybe it's a $10 ebook. And then from the $10 ebook, the next upsell is going to be a $50 a month group coaching program. And then from the $50 group coaching program, it's $10,000 a year for one-on-one private coaching. And then from there, it's on-site consulting for 25 grand for 3 days. And it goes up and up and up. Just make sure whatever your lead magnet is, it falls in line on that value ladder so that we are subconsciously planting these seeds along the way. The ultimate goal, guys, this is where we see most business owners mess up, is you've got cold traffic right here. You have your first closed deal right here. Boom, boom. It's a very short distance. But if I were to interview all of you individually and say, all right, in a perfect world, if your prospect took every upsell there was all the way up your value ladder, all the way from, you know, the free or the $10 ebook to the $50 group coaching to the $10,000 one-on-one coaching to the $25,000, you know, private 3-day on-site event. If this is your perfect world, let's start planting these seeds all the way back here. Everyone's just rushing to that $10 ebook. Let's just close the deal. Let's close the deal. Let's close the deal. But all the way along the way, we need to start planting seeds, showing them the vision of where we are ultimately going to take them. That's what I got for right now, Marv.
Exactly. So, and on that note, I want you guys to, because you guys hear that a lot too. You, especially if you've been in this game, in this industry for a while, you've heard value stack beaten like a fucking dead horse that can barely lick the water at the river, right? And what a really common mistake I see a lot, I did it myself, right, guys? Like, this is the reason Zach and I do what we do, is because we're out here spending countless time, dollars, learning fucking $50,000 lessons, and we're trying to help you guys not make the same mistakes that we did as we're building, scaling, and running systems for people. We're trying to show you guys 100% transparency. Like, this is how we run it. That's why I talk to my own program. I am living, breathing proof that the dual funnel system works. It is my coveted system that I originally developed 5 years ago for myself to build my own business. And I'm an engineer. So I was like, well, how can I engineer this to work for anybody? Right? When you're creating that value stack, you just got to make sure, and I learned this reference from Steve Larson. He probably learned it from somebody else, but imagine you're out on a golf field, a putting green, right? You want your customer are all the little golf balls on the field. You want your customers to be as close to that hole as possible, right? And this is what I did wrong at first, is I'm selling a big done for you service on the back end, and my front end was something like this, which was my old wave makers group. Somebody asked, can a Facebook group be a lead magnet? This is my old wave makers lead magnet, where the lead magnet was join the Facebook group and learn how to build a brand for free, right? And then when you join the group, and basically all I did was talk about what I do in the group. I do weekly Q&A sessions. You get all my courses and content. You get daily live sessions in the group. You just get access to the group. I was just like, you're gonna have fun joining this group. We're wave makers. We're changing the world. Anyways, and then the next thing was, now you got to get my book, right? And then this book was, it'll take you through the 100 days of building a brand. You can get the digital version for free, or you can pay $100 and I'll autograph this thing and send it to you. Right. But then the problem was, if you're a startup, you can't afford a 5-figure retainer. Right. For you to hire us, to put us on retainer, to manage everything for you, just logically, you have to be earning minimum 300 to 500K per year to put us on retainer. And if you're the type of business where you're literally not profitable, earning revenue yet, to where you're doing this 100-day challenge to build a company that's earning 10, 20, 30 a month. And so for me, I was like, why is it taking 6 months to a year before these people are coming back? Right? Because unknowingly, I set my lead magnet, my stack, and everything to take people on this 6-month journey before they're even ready to feasibly hire us to do anything for them. So that's why we reworked the lead magnet to just be the dual funnel system. Let's show you how to build the thing, right? We're going to take you through 30 days of just building the thing. And then Zach put together this killer 55 video course that's like, I'm gonna teach you how to build a brand and drive traffic to this thing, right? So then that's how we were able to shorten our customers' journey to hiring us for our higher ticket items from 6 months down to 30 days. And then throwing lost leader back out there, we're the live examples of using a lost leader. The dual funnel system that we're selling for 5K right now is typically a $15,000 to $25,000 build, but we needed something that could bring people in the door, that was a no-brainer, that would let them get live in the system within 30 days, and then that would put us in a position of not only over delivering on value, but showcasing why people would want to put us on retainers so we can manage and run the system for them. So we're operating our own. So our like customer journey for the dual funnel system is like, hey, you can come join one of these workshops where we're going to show you, we're going to explain the strategy, show you how the build is done, and then you can either go into your own automation Goat account or High Level or ClickFunnels or wherever the fuck you use. If you're smart enough to engineer it, I don't care if you take my framework and reverse engineer it somewhere else, but that's the idea of the workshop. And then it's like, here's all the video training where you can go take it and you can do it yourself. And you're probably going to you're going to get some sort of system built, or you're going to get stuck and not be able to figure it out. Then your next natural step is our one-on-one consulting, where we charge by the hour to like just hop on and work with you, or you can join our lives, or there's a number of different ways. And then finally, we have the no-brainer, like 5K offer. Are you fucking kidding? You're going to get a website and all these funnels and everything for that, all with the thought of, we're going to walk you into becoming a retainer client eventually. And everything that we're doing up to that moment is, how can we make you a retainer client in the shortest amount of time possible? So when you guys are coming up with like, what is your value stack? What does your lead magnet look like? What is your funnel look like in general? What are the steps that you're trying to take people through on a funnel? Think about, what is the journey I want to take them on? How long should it realistically take them to work through step X, Y, and Z? And then once you know how long it should take them to work through step X, Y, and Z, then you can map out that journey. Zach, you got anything to add to that before we map out a dummy journey?
No, I think we need to jump right on into that. I think that's what these folks are waiting to see.
All right. So let's come up with like, let's just say, actually, does anybody want to volunteer as tribute? And I'll just work with you live and we'll map your shit out.
Don't be scared.
I mean, I could easily come up with a fake ass product, but all you guys are here. So if somebody wants to take advantage of $1,000 an hour consulting for nothing.
Yeah.
All right, what's good, Dimitri? I actually missed you the other day, so I'm happy you're the guy that was volunteering as tribute. So tell us a little bit about who you are and what it is that you do.
So my name is Dimitri Stakis. I'm a real estate investor and podcaster. And my funnel, or I have two sites now, but the main one that would be for intake at the moment would be realestaterelief.com. And when somebody visits the site, they can book time on the calendar, talk to me, or they can input their information, or also give their email and get a free ebook. But I'm setting the email automations now. So right now, the CRM that I have that feeds into is called Resimply. So I don't know how I can use the automation software to kind of plug into that, or if I have to move everything to a new CRM.
So you're a real estate investor, but you're teaching people how to also be an investor like you to get
Uh,
the freedom that you have.
I,
Is that the idea?
I don't sell coaching. I mean, I've helped people. Like that's how I connect with Kaya. I just help people. Like, it's more about attracting the opportunities. But, so my customer avatar is the, tired landlord who's had tenants who fucked them over for the last few years. And they're tired of paying all the bills and having people just pay them with excuses or, or somebody who's behind on their mortgage a few months. So this is just my give is how to get your life back. Meaning, some basic things that you can do to kind of get your life back in order while you sell your house, while you move on with life. So I just need to kind of leverage that with these automation.
Okay. So you say you don't want to coach people, but this landing page that I'm looking at tells me you want to coach people. Right? So the key to marketing is the right message to the right person at the right time. And when you're getting somebody to download your ebook, so I want you guys to understand something. People don't buy products and services, people buy people. All right. They're looking at you guys as essentially their Sherpa, you're their guide. They're at point A, you're at point B. Apparently you figured out how to get to B. So they're just looking at you as like, you're the guy with the answer. How can you get me from A to B the quickest? Right. So depending on who you want to attract with this lead magnet, like we got to define what that is. Right. So you start off by saying real estate is the largest single transaction, yet too many people know how to know the truth before they sell. Surprisingly high enough people. This is why I've written this short guide on key steps, important milestones, a vinyl warden sign, so you become the master of your life, whether selling your property or investing in one. Reclaim your life, reclaim your legacy, reclaim your self-respect, and reclaim your future. But before you got into this, right, it's kind of like premature ejaculation, right? Like you kind of started getting me excited, and then you just blew the load before I really got into what we were doing here, right? And then and so what you want to do is we kind of want to dive into like, what am I going through that I want to reclaim my life? Right? What am I going through that I want to reclaim my legacy? What am I going through that I want to reclaim your self-respect? But honestly, dude, with these hooks and these triggers, it sounds like I'm gonna coach you on how to do these things. Right? It doesn't tell me that you're an investor that's just going to teach me how to invest wisely and basically gain that independence through that. So can you kind of tell me like what you're envisioning people, what am I going to get out of this book, outside of reclaiming my life, reclaiming my like what does that mean? What is the end goal here? What am I going through right now? And what am I going to get out of your book that's going to make me reclaim my life?
I think we lost him.
Did he drop off?
Yeah.
Maybe I offended him because I tore through his copy too hard. Which, by the way, guys, do not ask Zach and I to review any of your shit if you're not ready for the answer. Like, I'm transparent. I'm to the point. I try to be a little funny, which I was trying to be there. It's going to be off the wall. It's going to be off the cusp a little bit, and I might fucking offend you. And I'm sorry. I'm not here to, impress you and make you feel good. I'm here to help you get results. And sometimes that means telling you the shit that you need to hear, not necessarily want to hear. But hey, he still volunteered his tribute. So whether he's here to give us his feedback or not, we're still going to rip through this and build it off of this as the demo. So Zach, since he's not here to give me his feedback, you give me some feedback on what I just said. Do you agree with me? How would you rework this to make it to basically define a journey of, I just want you to know that I'm a real estate investor and this is how we're going to go.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not here to knock on this stuff, but I'm not feeling that. I'm not getting that here. For everyone that is watching, I'm going to give you two different verticals here to think about, 2 in one, 3 in the other. The first two is people spend money to solve a pain point or to cause pleasure. Now, the trick here is people will spend more money faster to solve a pain point than they will to cause pleasure, but they will also spend money to cause pleasure. For example, let's say you need to call a plumber because your master shower, you want to get some higher pressure out of. Do you think that's a pain point, or do you think that's to cause pleasure? That's to cause pleasure, right? We would all probably, for example, I don't even shower in my master shower because the guest shower has higher pressure. So it's obviously not something painful enough for me to call anyone yet. But let's say that master shower is leaking and is now leaking and overflowing the shower onto my master bedroom floor. Do you think I'm going to call a plumber now? Yes. I'll spend more money and I'll spend it quicker because of a pain point. So right here, we want to acquire a pain point immediately, but then we can also take them down this customer journey that shows that it can also equally create pleasure for them as well, knowing that those two things. Now, here's another 3 things on a separate vertical on why people spend money: to make money, to save money, and to save time. So as we go through this, if we can show them, hey, I can help you make money. Hey, I can help you save money. Hey, I can also help you save time. Now I am 100% ready to give you my credit card information and go on this customer journey with you. So as you go through these concepts, what pain point can you solve? How can you give them pleasure? How can you help them make money? How can you help them save money? And how can you help them save time? Now it's a layover. You literally owe it. If you believe in your product or service, you owe it to your client to close them, your prospect to close them, right? That's a Zig Ziglar paraphrase. So immediately on these landing pages, we need to show whatever it is that we're about to give them, whatever this value add is, whatever this lead magnet is, whatever this loss leader is, whatever this free gift is. How can we solve a pain point? How can we cause pleasure? How can we make them money, save them money, or save them time?
Of course, I'm muted. I should probably unmute myself. Hey, Dimitri, I see you're back. I don't know how much you caught prior to dropping off there, but we're basically explaining, you know, with your lead magnets, you're trying to either solve a pain that they're having or cause pleasure for them when they're going through it. And I know you mentioned that you didn't want to coach people, but here you're trying to tell them that you want to help them reclaim their life. So what you want to make sure that we're defining here on the landing page in the front end of the journey is like, what is the thing that they're getting from your book that's going to help them reclaim their life, reclaim their legacy, reclaim their self-respect. But also, if you don't want to be seen as a coach, as like an influencer, so to speak, in the space, you're kind of dancing on that line of, I'm going to be your guru, your guide that's going to help you get along through it. So if that's what you want to avoid, I'd also reconsider some of the messaging that you're using. But irregardless, when I get this ebook, what is your goal? Like, what is the end goal of that you want the person to receive out of this book, right? Like, the end goal of my dual funnel system training is somebody can successfully build a dual funnel system for themselves, right? What is your end goal when they go through this ebook? What's the biggest takeaway that you hope that they're going to have? You're muted, brother.
Okay. Yep. Okay. Thank you. Thanks, Brian. And I appreciate looking into this. It's that, it's basically I'm your guide as you're selling your house, your property, that thing that's holding you back from your dreams. Your dream is to be close to your family, but you have this property that you thought was going to make you rich and now is making you poor. You got to face facts, before you lose it. If you're 2 months behind and you have equity and you keep falling further behind, you're going to lose everything. So what I'd like to do, and I was thinking, I don't know if it's your platform or if I use like a MailChimp type service to set up those email automations that go behind this, because I don't have that in place yet. But it would be like, let's say 5 emails that, once somebody gets the book, it's, okay, how you doing? How you feeling? Are you going through the book? Here's some quotes from the book. Let's hop on a call. Let's get things in motion. So I just kind of want to solidify that idea that I'm your guide, but I also want to basically buy your house too.
Can I
I'm
hop in
friendly.
there real quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah,
good
before
with
you
that,
do,
Mark?
Zach, I
Yeah.
just want to touch on something real quick before I lose it. Guys, Dimitri just gave you guys a real live example of what I was talking about earlier, how most people, they think like, well, I don't know if it's MailChimp that I got to do this with, or your tool that I got to do this with, or this tool that I got to do this with, but we got to focus on getting this customer journey dialed in. Fuck the tool. The tool don't matter. We can achieve this with thousands of different tools and hundreds of different ways. But we got to define, what is this customer journey? What do we want to get out of it? Where do we want to take them before we even think about what tool are we going to use to facilitate? Go ahead, Zach.
Yeah, so this is just going to be, I guess we're just going to rock right into a coaching call. Dimitri, are you saying you're interested in like distressed sellers?
That's right.
Oh.
That's right.
All
That's
right.
right.
So this will just be me coming in to free ball with you. I appreciate you, throwing yourself out there at the mercy of getting slaughtered in front of the everyone. So my question to you is, if someone's in distress, do you think they're going to take the time to sign up for an ebook, get it, read it before they make a decision?
No. In fact, I was texting Ben Newman earlier this week. I said, how do I get them to call me? And they said, no, they're not going to call you. You have to call them. So it's more about bringing attention that I even have this, whether you use it or not. And even if you download it, whether you read it or not. So it's more about just bringing attention to the offer, I think, is where I need to kind of redirect my attention. If that makes sense.
All right. So there's a few ways we can go here on educating people. Like if you were to simply make a post that said, hey, is someone interested in selling their house? Or is someone looking to liquidate a property you got in a divorce, or liquidate a property you got in an inheritance, or whatever the case is, right? The average is 3% of your market is willing to say yes to you right now. 3%. That's it. So if we were to ask 1,000 people, you may get 30 people
30.
to say yes, right? And that's it. Now, what we have to do is open up that 3% by getting people interested. I'll tell you guys, it all is going to come down to the messaging, because, and we're just doing a free ball coaching call here. It's I don't want to distract from the dual funnel system, but I want to explain why we do this stuff. So we were consulting a client in Texas. They had this beautiful program, but they could not give it away. There was a Texas grant that was paying them to give people higher education for free, and they would buy you a laptop to do it. Well, they were making all these ads that said, hey, would you like to be a medical transcriptionist? Their ads fell flat for free. Their ads fell flat. No one responded. We came in and consulted them and said, and the reason is because they're asking, who wants to be a medical transcriptionist? If you were to ask that, on average, 3% of your market is willing to say yes, because you're asking them a direct question, versus we came in and made one very simple change to their ads. We didn't change targeting. We didn't change any of the follow-up. We didn't change anything except for saying, hey, are you interested in making $32 an hour, work from home or work from anywhere, and make your own schedule?
And we provide a laptop for you to do it.
Now we take them down this customer journey And then we say, awesome, great. We're going to give you a laptop to get and pay for all of your education so that you can get certified as a medical transcriptionist. Does that sound good to you? Are you ready to go ahead and start the journey to start making $32 an hour, make your own schedule, and work from anywhere? Now we got much larger piece of the pie than only 3%, right? Same thing with one of our for Stu Segura. We were helping him. Hey, are you ready to buy a mattress? 3% of your market on average is ready to say, yes, I'm in the market for a mattress. Versus if we said, hey guys, did you know as entrepreneurs, if you're getting less than 7 hours of quality sleep, you're at a 15% higher chance of having a heart disease or heart attack? Now, how many more people do you think are at least interested in hearing some options on getting better and higher quality sleep? So we start looking at the messaging like this because it all starts here on what you're going to be giving these people. So for example, hey, would you be interested if I gave you a free ebook to let you know how you could sell your house within 72 business hours and get top dollar for it without ever leaving the safety of your own home? I'm just throwing that off the top of my head now.
Yeah, I'm gonna buy that every day of the week. Like that's exactly what I was gonna say here is like, if I'm in distress, I actually love that you're in this vertical. This is one of our favorite verticals to build and automate for is real estate and wholesale. And like distressed homeowners that just made a bad investment, especially right now, like wholesale real estate is becoming more and more prevalent, it's becoming more and more popular. Like this is that thing that 10 years ago people didn't believe exists, but now more and more people are starting to do wholesale real estate. The distressed homeowners aren't looking for how to get your life back. What if you change the hook to this to how to come back from that bad investment and cash out in 20 or cash out in 72 hours, right? Because we're networked with other investors where we can guarantee if the numbers make sense and we get them under contract, we can get them funding in a week, right? So when you identify with their problem, like, because a distressed seller isn't looking for how do I reclaim my legacy? What they're looking for is, fuck, I just invested 60K into this property. Now I'm gonna be upside down, and all I'm getting is these wholesale sharks that want to give me pennies on the dollar, and I'm gonna lose my ass here. Right. So talk about that problem and how you're gonna solve that problem. And the other token of that is you said earlier that you don't give a fuck if they actually consume the ebook or not, or you should give a fuck if they actually consume it, because that's going to be the journey that you walk them on. So how can you write this in a sense that you're going to show them that they can know, like, and trust you with the single transaction? Because you say it right here, it's the largest single transaction that most people are going to make in their lifetime. So if it's such an important transaction that they're going to take, who the fuck is Dimitri and why should they trust you with that large single transaction? You know, how can you write a 30-day journey walking them through to make them want to answer your call when you call them, want to respond to your text message when you text message them, want to call you back when you leave a voicemail? They get excited when you reach out to them because you're going to show them how they can actually succeed in the thing that they have so much resentment towards right now. Does that make sense?
It's beautiful because, like, I think it makes more sense with attracting the type of customer avatar I'm looking to talk to.
Okay, so now that we've decided, like, okay, that's what we're going to build is going to be to a lead magnet, right? And maybe you don't know what the name of this lead magnet is. And here's the other thing too, guys. When you guys are building this out, when you're doing the first initial map, don't try to dive too much into the weeds right yet, right? First, we want to get, like, what is the framework? What's the ideal path that we're going to take them on? And then we're going to dive deeper into side quests. That's why I like to call it, you guys have probably heard real life side quests, right? So that's what we're going to be creating here. We're going to be creating the main storyline that we want to take them through, and then we're going to define what those side quests are as we're going through it. And so we're going to say here is going to be a lead magnet, right? It's for distressed sellers. and we want to take them on a minimum 30-day journey. Now, does anybody know why we do besides you, Zach, does anybody know why we do a minimum 30-day journey? Garrett, you should definitely know why. I'll let you raise your hand and answer if nobody else wants to take a guess. I really want this to be fun and interactive, guys. So the more energy y'all give me, the more I'm going to give you.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, sorry, man. I'm tech challenged here. I don't know why the hell I am just going with, I don't know the answer. I probably know the answer, but I can't articulate it. So shit, I've just been just drinking from a fire hose in all this. So I don't know. Give me the answer, Marv.
All right, I'll let you take the easy way out. It looks like you're enjoying a cigar at your new place. It looks like you
Yes,
finally got some internet working out there.
Yes, I do.
So the reason why we do a minimum 30-day journey is the human brain. Like, so psychologically, if you guys start doing something brand new, if you do it consistently for a minute, and now I believe research is showing that humans are taking a little bit longer now to form habits because of the tech industry that we live in now, because the world that we live in, you get so much information and content thrown at you. It's so much. It's actually, studies are showing that the initial customer journey to know, like, and trust you are taking longer. But the reason is because we want them to form a habit of consuming you, right? So just your human brain naturally, if you do the same thing over and over again every single day, after doing that for 3 to 4 weeks, your brain you're going to naturally subconsciously start to crave it, right? Then you're going to start looking forward to the emails that you get every morning, to the text messages, to the check-ins, because now you're fully embellished with whatever you're consuming. Right. And so that's why you do a minimum 30-day journey, and you of course want to expand that out. And that's why when I create lead magnets, I try to do lead magnets where it makes sense for me to naturally follow up with them for a 30-day time frame, right? Like when we do personal trainers, for example, their best converting lead magnet is always like a 21-day challenge or a 30-day challenge, because this makes it a natural point for the fitness trainers to be reaching out and contacting them every single day, because every day they got to give them new workouts, new recipes, new things to get them through the fitness challenge. So they're not being sold the whole time. They're just participating in a challenge. That's why it was easy for me to put 108-day sequence behind this, because it's a 100-day challenge. So it makes sense for me to be emailing you and text messaging you and everything for 100 days straight, because you signed up for a 100-day challenge with me. And so this lead magnet, that's why we do a 30-day minimum, because we're just trying to get them to subconsciously form the habit of consuming you. All right, now let's talk about the traffic sources that we're going to use to drive this traffic to the 30-day lead magnet, which one of the things the dual funnel system promises is high quality leads that come to you, that compound and come to you on autopilot every day, as long as you drive traffic to it. All right, so Dimitri, what traffic sources do you have currently? I'm assuming that you're doing all organic. You're not planning on running paid traffic, or are you planning on running paid traffic like Google PPC, Facebook? Tell me the traffic you're planning on doing with this.
I was Facebook ads. So I was on my mastermind call today, and the teacher, Ryan Dossie, this group called CCF, going over some ads and what kind of response to people. Like, cash for homes is kind of noise right now. So, I'm still looking for that ideal ad. So I am using primarily organic at the moment to drive traffic, but over time it'll be adding some whatever the ranking SEO keyword. So I don't quite know which ones to use. So still looking for the right mix. What people are looking for, like sell my house fast, or sell my problem property, or get me out of this mess. Or I'm still trying to track what what is ideal there to drive traffic.
We're still targeting the 3% there though. So we want to expand that a little bit stronger. And we could probably work through that on a separate call, maybe if you wanted to, but you got to think, I mean, it's good for SEO purposes, but when we start talking about running ads and everything, so right now, I'm assuming what Marv's asking for is just what are your lead sources, all the different ones, right? What are you doing organically? What are you paying for? What sources are you paying for, and where are they coming from? Because, we're going to do is try and determine which one of those lead sources we're going to be. Realistically, you need to custom curate content for all of those because they're going to be different, because the people that are going to be attracted to SEO are completely different than outbound social media and stuff like that. And as just a side note, again, we're just giving away all the free info. What happens when someone sells a house, bro? They got to find somewhere new to live, right? There is literally a bazillion of you. There is a bazillion of you. So let's think about how to create market separation. What if not only you could give them money for their house, cash for their house today, but you could help them relocate because you've got a syndicate of moving companies, apartment complexes, realtors, and you name it, to have the whole kit and caboodle. So just a side note. But anyways, go ahead, Marv.
Yeah, no, exactly what he was saying. Especially if organic's your biggest thing, SEO is one of those things that it takes a long time, especially if you're just doing organic traffic, not flooding it. I never recommend flooding like your standard WordPress site with traffic. I recommend doing SEO and ranking it, and then just fully understanding how SEO works. I know there's a lot of SEO guys out there that pitch SEO as like, this is the fucking thing that you need to do, and it's going to push the needle in the business, and you're going to get 20 to 30 organic leads, not running traffic and blah. Trust me, I've been in the game a long time. I heard all about it. But technically speaking, like, SEO is one of those things where you do market research, and based on your market research, like, your market research tells you like this percentage of people in your area are searching for these words and phrases whenever they're looking for selling their distressed home, right? So then you take all that market research and you put all those keywords and everything on your website, and then the goal, because how the algorithm works, the search function is, when it finds those keywords, it's going to go, boom, there's 50 websites that have this phrase on there, right? So how do we know which website is the best website to show these people? Well, then when people search for this phrase, what else are they searching for when they search for this phrase? Then it's going to identify out of those 50 sites who also has all these coinciding keywords and phrases, right? And that's going to raise your ranking. And then the easiest way to do that, right, is one, of course, you got to do your initial market research, so you know what kind of content to drive, what kind of content to push. And then beyond that, you should be releasing blogs every single day on your WordPress site, because every blog that you have that has that same phrase or those same words over again, every time the algorithm's looking up and you're in that top 50 site that has those phrases, they're going to say like, well, Dimitri's site not only says I'm going to help you sell your distressed home 100 fucking times, but he also has these 40 other blog articles that list this phrase over here and these keywords and everything. And that's how you raise your ranking to become number one. So what most of these SEO guys are doing are not only embedding those hidden keywords and phrases throughout your website, but they're releasing blogs for you regularly that just boost your rank. But it takes 6 months plus on average for you to really get that, to see that working. Because imagine how much content, sheer volume, like with Chat GPT, for example. I have colleagues that have built fully automated, like, I'm going to publish blogs for you without touching a finger. Like, they're literally pushing tons and tons of blogs every single day across a plethora of different domains that they're trying to rinse and rank for these different keywords or phrases. So it's one of those things that technology has advanced so far now that you as a human being can't even keep up with the robot. So I would strongly suggest to just have your WordPress site, do your initial SEO schema, and then just stay consistent with posting your blogs. Maybe down the line, you can look into facilitating your own chat GPT bot that is posting for you. We leverage chat GPT to write all of our own blogs, because what I do is, let's say I record a 2 to 5 minute video for YouTube, right? So because you see me list all these traffic sources and you're like, Marv, how the fuck am I going to come up with all this different content for this one lead magnet? I mean, I got to create a video for YouTube, I got to create a blog, I got to create a reel on Instagram, I got to create a video for my Facebook, I got to create something for my group, right? Like, how do you keep up with all of that with using the least amount of time? Because that's the other thing with the dual funnel system, is we want you spending the least amount of time on this stuff. So what I do is I'll create a 2 to 5 minute video that I'm going to use for my YouTube, right? It'll be a simple video. If you guys aren't subscribed to my YouTube, shame on you. That is the Automation King on YouTube. And so you'll see most of my videos are just like this. I release these once a week. They're 2 to 5 minute videos. Some are longer, some are shorter, but it's me going through like different things, like how to automate social media, right? How to close more deals, how to qualify your leads, how to get your time back, blah, blah, blah. I'll take that and then I'll transcribe the video, go into Chat GPT and say, hey, Chat GPT, write me a 750 word article based on this video transcription. And then obviously my copywriter will come behind me and double check that it sounds like I wrote it before he publishes it. But then throughout this 2 to 5 minute video, I can also use a program called CapCut. Take this video and cut it. CapCut will automatically put captions on. There's another one Zach uses. I think it's actually called Captions, where it actually transcribes your video for you, puts the subtitles on there, helps you with the slides, everything else. And then that gives me short form content for Facebook and Instagram. So you guys don't have to go plan out like it's good to post on all of these, but like Zach was saying, everybody's going to consume the media differently depending on what platform that you're on. So you could take one piece of media that you create for YouTube and then just simply repurpose it so you can give it that different format for your other traffic channels and still release it using a minimal amount of time. Like realistically, to publish this, if you don't have a VA, you're probably going to spend 1 to 2 hours a day on this. But this is the thing, like you're going to spend 1 to 2 hours a day on this. But all you have to do is worry about the traffic, because once you get the rest of the dual funnel system dialed in, all you got to do is focus on the front end customer journey side. What type of content are you creating to drive them to your lead magnet? Because the system on the back end, it's going to walk them through the journey. That's why we do a 30-day journey, because eventually it'll get to the point where you can say, well, whenever they go into my 30-day journey, I know they're getting on my calendar by day 6 in that journey. So all I got to do is worry about posting every single day. And then I'm going to get my people in there. Then all I got to do is wait 6 days. And then every day is day 6 for someone else. Zach, what do you got to add to that?
No, I agree here. So what you guys got to understand is stop overthinking it. You know, it's just having all these different resources, creating something that is evergreen, and then just, you know, like we could have a coaching call for forever. We're already an hour and 20 minutes into this. You know, we could talk all day long on the strategies here. So I don't want to distract you from anything. But I do want you to understand that consistency is key. Get this created. This is the foundation. Once you get something like this set up, and we're going to get, you know, we're giving you all the sauce here. Hey, it's going to come down to what's more important to you, time or money, because you're going to have to spend one of those two things on this. But once you have this done, it's just about consistency. Like you were saying, at some point it's day 6 for everyone. Like we created a 30-day challenge for us, which is again, just controlling this customer journey. And once everyone gets through that, all that traffic that goes through, it's day one for someone. Well, actually, technically, the way you want to explain it is yes, it's day one for everyone that's first starting. But the ultimate goal is for us, our calls to action are on day 31. So as you get to day 31, because the foundation's been set correct, and now we have Facebook ads, now we have Instagram ads, now we have Facebook organic, now we have Instagram organic, now we have our blogs, and now we have our YouTube organic. As all this stuff's curating, every day will be day 31 for someone else in our pipeline, which is where we become profitable. The hard work's already been done. The foundation's already been done. The map's already been done. Everything's already been done. Now it's just staying consistent. You've done the hard part at this point. Just stay consistent, stay consistent, stay consistent. And then it'll be day 31 for someone else, day 31 for someone else, day 31 for someone else. Don't overthink it.
I'm muting myself, started talking again. Exactly. Don't overthink it. This is something actually we experienced quite a bit with Garrett's build, right? Because Garrett likes to overthink. Well, what if we do this? What if we do this? And I'm like, Garrett, this is a fresh system. We have no fucking idea what's going to convert. We just got to put our dicks on the table, put some shit out there. We'll figure out what converts and adjust it appropriately. Right. So when you guys are thinking about this, I know it's especially if you've never done this before. I've literally built thousands of funnels and more workflows than I can sneeze at. So it's very easy for me to go in here and map this out and do it. But I know if this is your first time doing it, creating a 30-day journey is probably a daunting, overwhelming task. So don't overthink it. Let the data tell you what to change, what to not change. Like, go with your gut feeling. Like, when you think about, I'm going to hold this person's hand, we're going to walk through the woods and get through this shit together. What does that look like? Whatever your gut feeling tells you, that's the right answer. Right. Then you're going to start walking people through it. Then you're going to get feedback, and you're not going to change shit based on one people. That's the other thing that I've seen. Somebody will launch it and they'll tell their friends, their colleagues, their baby mamas, whoever else, yo, I just created this new ebook. Go download it, check it out. Let me know what you think. They only get 4 people opted in. It happens to be their mom, their baby mama, their best friend from high school. And needless to say, it's 4 people. That's not even their ideal customer avatar. They're not even in the industry. They don't even go through this. So they're probably the worst person to ask them for advice on this thing. But then I see people drive themselves nuts, modifying their ebooks, modifying their follow-up, changing everything on the opinion of 3 or 4 motherfuckers who opinions, quite frankly, don't even matter. Right. So make sure that when you're making adjustments to this, you're doing it based on logic and numbers. So whenever somebody goes through this, I think I even told you this, Garrett, right? We want to wait till 100 people go through the workflow first, then look at the numbers, look at what's my open rate, what's my click-through rate, how are people engaging, right? Like when we launched the 100-day blueprint, that it took us 9 months to dial it in. When we first launched it, our compounding conversion date was day 47. They had to be in the blueprint sequence for 47 days on average before they actually booked a time on my calendar. 9 months later of dialing that journey in, now it's within 7 days they're getting on my calendar. Right. But I didn't worry about it. I just said, this is going to be the 100-day journey we're going to take them on. I just focused on releasing content every day, running ads every day to just get people to consume the blueprint. And then after 100 people went through it, you can imagine how long it took to put 100 people through a 100-day sequence before I was adjusting it. So every 2 to 3 months, we were adjusting the sequence. And then after about 9 months, we were able to optimize it to a compounding conversion data sub 7 days. Right. So that, just think of it this way, guys. This is a constant evolving living organism that is going to always be changing. Focus on defining what the quick, ugly journey is, then putting people through it, looking at the data later, and optimize it. Right now, let's just get it launched and on the road. So people are going to be getting your 30-day lead magnet, and through this, we're probably going to be asking them to book a time, right? At least for Dimitri, with wholesale real estate, you're trying to just get people on the phone. And so that's going to be the call to action check. And then obviously or what is see, book a time, check rather. And then we're gonna just say this is gonna be the automated journey, and then I'll pull up an automated map of what that actually looks like, because this is just the framework. Then you're gonna create another map like this to define what that journey actually looks like. I'll pull up one of those because we're not gonna actually define that 30-day journey for Dimitri today. I'm just trying to show you guys how to framework this. So when you go to build your own, you know how to framework it. So now we're looking at the funnel, right? So when we're looking at the funnel, remember the idea here is on the front end, he's not telling people I want to get on the phone with you. So on the second step of the funnel, he can't just say, yo, here's a link to my calendar, let's hop on a call, right? Because from their perspective, all they did was download this ebook. They had no fucking idea that Dimitri's about to say, hey, let's hop on a phone. And so the second step of this is going to be a call invite, right? So again, here on the call invite, the messaging is you're just identifying where are they at on the journey, what are they doing with you, right? I'm just going to let you guys listen to my video. You can see it's literally a minute long. It doesn't take much, but the idea is you're acknowledging where they're at in the journey and what they're going to be doing, and then giving them a solid call to action to follow up with you. What's up, guys? Thank you so much for downloading my dual funnel system. Now, if you're like many of the entrepreneurs that have come through here and downloaded the dual funnel system, it can be quite overwhelming. So what I'd like to do is take this moment to give you an opportunity to click that button below, select a time. You can talk to somebody with my team. They can run you through the dual funnel system and exactly how it can apply to your business. I don't want this to be another shiny toy. I want this to be something that you actually use, implement, and put into your business so you get countless hours back and scale your business, scale your revenue without having to worry about all the manual, tedious tasks that we can get robots to do, and build you a system that feeds itself so you never have to worry about new leads, new sales coming in again. So just again, click that button below this video, pick a time to hop on with my team, and let's make this happen. This is Big Mark. Thanks for watching. One love. All right, so I identified, yo, thanks for downloading my dual funnel system, right? That's the first step they came into the funnel. Then before I'm saying, let's hop on a call, I'm giving them some context, right? Because I want them to try to put themselves in the feet of my avatar, right? I want them to envision where they're at, right? So I say, after thousands of people have downloaded this thing, this is what they experience, right? Now, what I'm trying to get the prospect to do is visualize where are they at in these pain points, right? Because like Zach said earlier, I'm identifying what is causing them pain and how am I going to give them pleasure from delivering the thing that I'm giving them, right? So Dimitri, for you, maybe yours is like, yo, thank you so much for downloading this guide. I've worked with tons and tons of home buyers over the years, people that have made these investments that have gone completely sideways. And now it is my life's mission to try to help people that buy these distressed homes that can't seem to get out from under it. I want to let you know that it's perfectly normal. It's perfectly okay. You are not the first person that has made what seems to be a bad real estate investment. And that's why it's my life's mission to help you get back the most amount of money for your investment in the shortest amount of time possible. And I would just love the opportunity to hop on a call with you right now to go through this investment with you so I can show you a way of how you can get the most amount of money in the least amount of time. So if that sounds great to you, click that button below. Let's pick a time on my calendar so I can show you how to get this investment back. Does that sound like a good plan to you?
Sign me up, Marv.
What was that?
Oh, Jay Bird just said, sign me up, Marv. I fucking felt the
Right?
pain.
Like you're about to fucking get on my calendar, right? And I'm not even a wholesale real estate guy. I'm just like, this is the journey that we're going on together. You know, so that's the idea of the call invite is you're just acknowledging you just downloaded my thing. Now here's a reason to get on the phone with me. Here's a reason to take that next call to action with me, right? And then if we if they take the call, what's the next step? Oh, obviously we're going to show them like, here's my calendar, right? And then behind so if somebody books on your calendar, what does that journey look like? Right. So for me, if somebody books on my call, Jaybird is my sales guy. So Jaybird, I'm going to call you out here in a second. But Jaybird knows as well as this, because I just had to train him last week. Like when somebody books on the calendar, you want to immediately call them and confirm like, yo, hey, this is Dimitri. I see you just booked with me for next Thursday at 2:00. I just want to confirm that's a good time for you, right? That's your opportunity to talk to them immediately. But what happens if they don't pick up the phone and they booked a week out? What does that journey look like? Are you going to remember to call them and text them and tell them, hey, it's at this date and time? Maybe you will, maybe you won't, but I know at scale, you're going to forget. You're not going to be able to keep up with it. So obviously we're going to put some automated reminders behind that. We don't have to define what those reminders look like right now, but we just know that in their customer journey, we're going to put some automated reminders behind these. Right. And then the next step, after they select a date and time on the calendar, which, by the way, this is not Calendly or something else. This is calendars built natively in here. I don't know how many of you guys are on this call are familiar with the high level platform, but that's what the automation goat is built on top of. And it has full booking capabilities. So this is just another booking page, a calendar page, leveraging the calendars that are in here. And then the next step after that is what we call the pre-call survey. So this is the part of the dual funnel system where we say we're automatically qualifying your leads. Now, the purpose of the pre-call survey is it's 5 to 10 questions that if they complete this survey, I'm going to know exactly where they're at in their business or whatever they're doing. Right. So Dimitri, for you want to think of 5 to 10 questions that if you read the answers to these questions, you know exactly what you need to know about their property and if you're going to be able to give a deal. Right. So you want to think of 5. So for me, right, as a consultant that helps people build businesses online, these are my questions. I say, how long have you had a personal brand? Right. This tells me, are they a startup? Right. Or have they been in the game for a while? Right. Because startups typically have less revenue, or typically I need to educate them more to show them the value of something like a dual funnel system. Right. Maybe they haven't been in the game a while. Maybe there's like some of my clients that can barely turn a computer on. So I have to help walk them through like the importance of why they need to go digital. Are you currently marketing your brand? This tells me, does this brand have a marketing budget? Right? Are they currently running marketing to their business? Do they know the importance of marketing? Right? If so, what types of marketing have you tried? If you answer organic only, that tells me you may or may not have ad spend, because if you're not currently spending ad spend, I can't tell you how many people I've talked to. I'm like, well, what's your ad spend budget? And they're like, I don't know, $10 a day, or, well, what's a budget? I didn't know I needed to have a budget. The amount of people that I talk to that don't understand you should be spending 10 to 15% gross revenue on marketing is surprising. What is the biggest problem you face with your personal brand? This lets me know whenever I get on the phone with them, this is what they think they're big, whether that's the actual problem or not. I know that this is the thing that I need to address on the call. What have you tried to fix the problem? This lets me know, like, what have they done? Have they hired other automation guys? Have they hired other agencies? Have they taken some course, right? Because I've been in the game for so long, when I know the answers to these questions, I know exactly how to cater my sales call to answer those specific pain points and problems that they're going through to move the needle and them most likely signing up for the dual funnel system. When I run paid traffic, I close at 30 to 40% on cold traffic and 80% on warm retargeted traffic to the ads. And that's solely because I have the answer to these questions and I'm able to cater my entire sales call around the pain points and the pleasures I'm going to be able to either relieve or bring to them based on the questions of this. Because like, what is your current monthly revenue and what is your goal monthly revenue? If somebody tells me I'm making 10K a month right now, but I want to hit 100K a month, well, we've done that for several businesses. So I know exactly what we need to do to help them hit that 100K goal, right? So when I get on that call, I know I need to give them a strategy that without a shadow of a doubt is going to be better than the thing that they tried to fix it. It's going to solve what they think is the biggest problem for their brand, and it's going to help them hit that goal revenue in whatever time frame that I outlined, right? So I'm thinking of like, what are these questions that is, if I knew the answer to this, I know exactly where they're struggling, exactly how I can help them. So Dimitri, that's going to be like, it's one of the things you got to do is going to be 5 to 10 questions so you can qualify the lead, right? And then the next step of the funnel, right? So there's going to be either 2 steps, right? Because remember, back here on the journey, we invited them to get on the call. They're either going to say, yes, I'd love to hop on a call with you, or they're going to say, no, thank you, I just want whatever the lead magnet is, right? So the 2 different thank you pages are obviously going to have 2 different messages on them. On the strategy session, thank you, think about it this way. They not only downloaded your lead magnet, but they watched this video of you inviting them to get on a call. Then they actually selected a date and time to book with you. Then they took the time to fill out a 5 or 10 question survey before they saw this page. So that is somebody that just put a lot of intention, time, and effort into you before you have ever even talked to them. So you want to acknowledge that and get them excited for that on this thank you page. That's how you're going to increase your show up rate. So on the thank you page, this is where we're acknowledging, yo, thanks for taking the time to download my thing. Thanks for taking the time to fill out these questions. Now I'm going to set the expectation of we're going to sit down for 20 or 30 minutes and we're going to dive through X, Y, and Z, right? So Dimitri, for you, maybe that is, hey, thank you so much for taking the time to download this lead magnet. I'm looking forward to helping you get the most amount of money in the least amount of time for your purchase. I'm looking forward to helping you get out from under what seems like a bad investment right now, but I promise you, we're going to see through, we're going to get to the light at the end of the tunnel for this. We're going to sit down for about 15 minutes. I'm going to go through those questions again. Thank you so much for taking the time to fill that out for me. That's going to make sure that we get the most out of our time together. You're going to get an email here shortly that confirms the date and time. I'm probably going to call you here in a minute. Again, thank you so much. I'm looking forward to chatting with you. Before you leave, don't forget, you can join my YouTube channel below. This is where I share tips and tricks on how everybody around the world, just like you, can get out from what seems like these bad investments. So if that's something you rock with, click that button below. Until then, I will see you shortly. Right, boom. Now I just laid out the entire expectation of getting them excited to, fuck, I'm going to actually show up on the call with this guy. And then the automations here is what's going to keep them excited to actually want to show up and work with you. And then you, human side of things, again, the cadence that you want to use when people are opting in and booking with you. Whenever they book, you want to call that lead within 5 minutes. Like you're going to set up the automations in the back end of the goat that's going to notify you and everything. So as soon as you get that notification within 5 minutes, statistically speaking, when somebody opts in and books with you, if you're looking at a bar graph, you're up here at likely to respond. After 5 minutes, it drastically drops. Like literally, yeah, drastically drops. Then you got about 10 or 15 minutes before they're going to actually respond to you. After that 15-minute mark, there is what is it, like 10% chance that they're going to actually respond to you if you miss that mark, right? And then the day of the call, right? You don't, obviously these reminders are going to go out, but automation is meant to supplement the human, not completely replace the human. So the day of the call, right? Yo, this is Dimitri. You got a call book with me later on today at 2 o'clock. Just want to make sure that time is still good for you. Perfect. Looking forward to chatting with you then. Right. So you want to make sure that you're doing that. Those are human elements that you need to do that's going to help make this convert more. Whether you do it or not is on you, but we've literally seen whole percentages of movement in the pipeline just from solely doing those 2 check-in calls. So we're going to have the thank you page. And then again, on this final thank you page, you don't have to use a Facebook group. We use a Facebook group as a lead acquisition hub, but that's because we do trainings. That's because we release a lot of content together. That's because we do Q&A sessions. We do all of this, and we basically use it as a lead acquisition hub to where people can come consume our free content, consume our free tips and tricks. And whenever we coming up with new offers, this is where we pilot the new offers in the group. So there's several like good reasons to use a Facebook group as a lead acquisition hub. That's how we use it. As you go through the dual funnel system training, you'll see that's how I teach you to use it as well. Dimitri, if you don't already, even if you don't want to become a coach, you can still create your own like off-market deals group, something where you're talking about deals that are off market or deals that are wholesale flipping, or just showing the things that you are doing. Maybe it's a place where people can share deals with each other, but think of a Facebook group that you could run to where you don't have to be a coach to them, but it's still a hub that you can use where your demo is going to get together and hang out and share things. Even if you start with it being all around whatever you're going to cover in this lead magnet, you could start there and the group can always expand. Again, this is going to evolve over time with you. And the download things like here, you even want to acknowledge like, yo, so you're not ready to get on a call with me. One of the dual funnel systems we just launched actually is for my guy Double Up. He's doing a fitness challenge, and on his download things, he's even looping him back to invite him because he called him out on not booking a call with him. And then he's like, so if you got to the end of this video and you change your mind and now you actually do want to get on a call, go ahead and click here, and we're looping them back to the book a call page. So really it's just like, what does that customer journey look like to you and how do you want to define it? But this is the gist of the framework that you're going to be running for your own dual funnel system, Dimitri. Like this is that core framework. And then once you have the core framework design, now you can start diving into, okay, I'm just trying to get this, but now once you have this defined, now you can dive into, okay, what do these journeys actually look like on the back end? So I'm going to pull up a live client build that we did to show you guys an example of that. Let's see here. So this is for another fitness trainer. So this is the main nurture sequence. So this is the sequence, this sequence here. So when people actually come through the front end, what does that automated journey look like on the back end, right? Because now we know we're going to have all these different traffic sources that are driving traffic to the front page of this 6-page funnel. What does this 30-day journey look like? Because we know this automated journey is just here to invite people to go get on that call, which will then put people on the calendar, get them to fill out the survey, which then qualifies them. Right. Let me see. Move this because now this is bugging me. All right. And so now we can define, all right, now how deep do we want to go? So we say they're going to be opting in. Okay, so now once they opt in, what are we gonna do? Well, we're gonna give them 2 hours to review that welcome email and take an action, right? And then what action do we want them to take in that 2 hours? Well, we want them to buy the low ticket product that's on the front end, right? Did they buy? Yes or no? If they didn't, then we're going to tag them accordingly and we're going to send them a voicemail message. If they did, then we're going to tag them accordingly and we're just going to pull them out of the sequence because they took the action that we want them to take. Right. Then we're going to send them a series of voicemail, text message, and email. We're going to wait a day. And then at the beginning of day 2, we're going to start a series of logic checks again. did they open the message, right? Because if they didn't open the email, that means they saw the subject line and they saw the pre-header, but it wasn't enough to make them want to click on that email and open it up for me and consume that message, right? So now I'm going to modify the subject line in the pre-header and send the same body of the message again, because they didn't see the body of the message. So it definitely wasn't the body of the message that didn't get them to engage. It was the subject line of the pre-header that kept them from opening it, right? So we're going to send the same text message and email again, but we're just going to modify that opening hook to get them to pay attention. But if they did open it, well, did they click through? Did they actually take the action to go to the website to check out the product or check out the calendar to actually book a time? Well, if they didn't click, well, that tells me I don't need to make a change on the offer page. I don't need to make a change on the funnel page because they never got to the page to take the action because they didn't even click. So now I need to look at the body of the message and say, what is the call to action? How did I frame that button before I showed the button to them? How did I frame that link before I showed the link to them? And guys, it can be as simple as the color of the fucking button. Like we've changed a button from red to blue and had 30% increase on click-through ratio. It could be the dumbest fucking shit that people actually click through on something. It could be the way we word it. We could say, so click that link below and that'll increase it. Or we can do things where it says, so click right here and we highlight the text and they click right here instead of clicking a button below the call to action. You know, it's just what if they're not clicking, it's something to do with how you told them to do whatever action. So you want to change those little variables that are solely just affecting the call to action, because it's not necessarily the body and it wasn't the subject line or the pre-header, because if they clicked the message and opened it, that means you got their attention enough to consume it. All right. And then we're going to do one more logic check. And we're just going to do that over and over and over again for that entire 30-day period, defining what that journey looks like. Right. This is why, guys, I say it's important to do this part, because let me show you what that actually looks like on the back end. Right. On what that actually looks like on the back end. This is a promotional sequence, right? We're tagging people initially, then we're going to assign it to the right salesperson, then we're going to send them the text message and the email, then we're going to wait, then we're going to do an if condition of did they join or not join, right? Because we're tagging them appropriately over here if they took that action. So if that tag is there, that means they took that action. So we're just checking against that tag. This is why, guys, I tell you the tool is not important, because if you define this journey first and you map this out first, you can go into the tool and build it, because now you know what you need to build, right? Versus before, you're like, well, I don't even know what to fucking build. I don't know what emails to put in there. I don't know how many emails to put it in there. I don't know when to send them the emails, because you got to define it. Could you imagine going, well, I just want to drive from here in Oregon down to my man Zach in Louisiana, and I'm going to do that without a GPS. I'll get there eventually. I know I got to go east. I know there's a handful of highways that travel from the West Coast to the East Coast. I know I'll figure it out eventually. I know if as I get down through Mexico and something, I'll see signs that go to Texas, and I'll say, cool, that's Texas. Now I just need to keep going east. So I see signs for Louisiana. Then we'll figure it out eventually. Or I could look at the damn map and GPS is going to tell me the exact way to get there. And I'm going to get there in the shortest amount of time with the least amount of problems. And so that's going to be the next step when you're building out your dual funnel system is, cool, now you know what traffic sources you're using. Now you know the framework that you're going to be building. So you have a 30,000 foot view of the journey you want to take them on. Now let's get deeper and say, okay, now that they downloaded this thing, what does that journey look like that I want to take them on? And what messages, what checks do I want to do to try to get them to take those different actions? Because you might have a 30-day sequence where some of the call to actions are booking a call, some of the call to actions are joining your group, some of the call to actions are subscribing to your YouTube. Call to action does not always have to be buy my shit. Quite on the contrary, you want 80% of your content to just be value adds, right? So where your call to action is join my group, subscribe to me, comment below, tag your people below. Like those are the call to actions. Then 20% of your content is buy my shit. The link is in the comments, join us below, et cetera, et cetera. Zach, you got anything to add? I know I'm information from a fire hose, guys. That's why I'm so excuse me. But Zach, you got anything to add on that?
No, not really. I mean, again, it's where we would probably sit there and discuss what your customer journey looks like, what your value ladder looks like, what the end goal is, because it's all going to change. It's all going to be, and honestly, guys, it might honestly be a change, you know, as you grow it. Like you start somewhere, and some people, it depends on what guru you listen to, and most of y'all know how I feel about gurus, but you know, whether you start with the top of your value ladder and work down, or you start with the bottom of your value ladder and work up, you know, there's a million ways to skin the cat. At the end of the day, guys, the biggest thing y'all have got to do is take action. You've got to put one foot in front of the other. You need to literally just start somewhere now, whether that's us building this program out for you so you don't have to, or it's you doing it. You're going to spend time or you're going to spend money doing it regardless. But until you do this, you can't start moving forward. So my piece of advice is let's fucking go. Let's get started.
Yeah. So this is, like he said, it's time or money, you know, like this is why we crafted the dual funnel system offer, because like in our core beliefs, it's like, we don't want you guys to have to pay us if you're just, everybody starts somewhere, right? So we want to give you the game, give you the sauce, show you like, this is exactly what we're doing for our clients. Everything that I'm showing you guys is either my builds or client builds that we've gone through this process with. And like, we wanted to create something where we could do it all for you, right? Because this is difficult, or I can at least give you enough. Hopefully I've given you guys enough today that you could actually get into the automation go, follow our training, and build and implement this for yourself. And if you do dive in there and you just can't figure it out, that's why we structured it the way that we do. Well, we'll write all your copy, we'll write your 30-day journey for you, we'll help you come up with that lead magnet, we'll help you put these funnels in this WordPress site in place, because we know if you guys just take the time, the effort, and the energy to lay this foundation is what's going to allow you to skyrocket and scale in a really short amount of time, because this system is, if you leverage it properly, is going to do so much work for you off the back end. Before I open it to questions, I just want to show you guys an example of a Google Doc template of what these automated sequences look like. So once you map it out here and you have a good idea, here's the template that we use. So we map out day 1, day 2, day 4, and then we put these little headlights above it of like, they didn't open the email versus they opened the email but didn't click. And then we're just lining out what's the SMS, what's the email, what's the voice drop, and then obviously writing out the messages. Once they're written out here inside the platform itself, you can go here underneath emails templates to build out the email templates. I strongly recommend using folders and building out your templates inside the platform. And then once you have all your templates built out, then you can go here to these templates and build all your SMS templates. And then when you're in the workflow, all you got to do is select those templates when you're building out the workflow. And then that makes it to where you don't have to, like, once you build these workflows, you don't have to go into these workflows and modify the messages. You can just update the templates and it'll dynamically update the workflows across the board for you. So before we dive into the nitty gritty of here's the funnel, here's how to build the funnel, here's the formula in the funnel, because believe it or not, guys, I do have a formula in the dual funnel system landing page. And then the pipelines, which is the more technical bit, pipelines, workflows. That's going to be the next section of this training. I know we're already 2 hours in, but when I set this workshop, I really, really wanted to do it different. than all these other gurus, right? You guys see workshops and you automatically think, oh, that's just a 90-minute webinar. They're going to pitch me at the end. I think Zach and I have been very transparent about the dual funnel system, and like, you can get it for 5K. It's up to you whether you want it or not, but I'm not here for that. I wanted to create a workshop where I can actually go deep and show you guys the technical shit, like roll up your sleeves and get this done. I'm not that guy that's going to get you to the edge and then tell you to pay $9.97 to get the thing that's actually going to move the needle. So I knew this workshop was going to be a 2 to 4 hour workshop, but that's because I wanted to dive into every facet of the dual funnel system and literally no holds bar, 100% transparent. Whether you guys have the money or not, this is how you can build it and do it for yourself. So hopefully you guys are still hanging in there with me. I know we lost a couple people, but again, thank y'all for taking your time on a Saturday to join me, because I'm going to rely heavily on y'all's feedback as we release and roll this out and do more of these. This will eventually move to a point to where I invite y'all to come out. We'll do 10 to 15 dual funnel system builds live. I'll have my whole team with me, and we'll be building these over a 2 to 3 day in-person workshop. So just so you guys kind of see the vision of where we're going with these workshops, is I'm trying to change the game, trying to change the industry. This isn't just your Russell Brunson 90-day or 90-minute fucking pitch. This is an actual real workshop where we're getting shit done. So with that being said, that's the end of the customer journey portion of like mapping out your customer journey and kind of the framework you got to put into place before you build the system. Zach, you got anything you want to add before we open it to questions?
No, bro, I think that's pretty straightforward.
All right. So if any of you guys have questions, feel free to unmute yourself, raise your hand, even if it's just to give me feedback. Let me hear some of y'all's thoughts on the customer journey part of the dual funnel system.
Hey, can you hear me, Marv?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, you know, my personal situation, I am working basically on building 2 different businesses at once. And, you know, I've talked about this, before, where we are developing, you know, Lone Star sprinklers as the first customer for the CRM or SaaS product that we want to sell. So as I am building this, you know, I can't get my head out of Upsurge, because that's really the SaaS product that I want to build to then sell for those who are new here or don't know my situation. I'm trying to Lone Star Sprinklers is the first customer to Upsurge, the CRM that I plan on getting out and distributing. So I'm trying to build everything out for that. And so my head is constantly going to Upsurge and building it out from that perspective. But I guess really I need to do that for Lone Star Sprinklers first, and that may not be applied to anybody else here, but that's really what I need to do. And is that correct?
Yeah, no, you're absolutely correct. You got to define the 2 different customer journeys, because the customers going through Lone Star Sprinkler is completely different customer and avatar than those that are going through Upsurge. What Garrett is talking about is actually our favorite power play to implement, leveraging the high level platform, right? So high level is a platform that allows you guys to white label it and offer it as a software as a service. Obviously, I don't white label. I'm a developer myself, so obviously I got to give credit where credit is due. The automation goat is built on top of high level. It's just got over 6,000 hours of development on top of it, right? Think of high level as like WordPress. WordPress is a blank template. You can download it for free. It's open source. You can build incredible websites with it, but unless you're a developer, you probably ain't going to get yourself a nice website out of just downloading WordPress. Well, high level is the same way. It's an agency level tool. It's like a blank canvas that you can take and customize your CRM, your snapshots, your funnels, your workflows, everything to create a proprietary system for yourself that you utilize. So what Garrett is doing is he runs an irrigation company called Lone Star Sprinklers. So what he's doing is we've built a dual funnel system for him for Lone Star Sprinklers so he can grow and scale his Lone Star Sprinklers irrigation company. Now he's been working tirelessly over months. Garrett's one of my clients that can barely turn on a computer. And so I got to just commend him for how long he's come. And the fact that he wants to start a software as a service and with the little technical expertise that he has just blows my mind how far he's come in the last, what has it been, 6 months, Garrett, maybe a little longer.
Yeah.
And now he's at the point where the Lone Star Sprinklers DFS is converting and moving, and he's like, cool, now I got a working proof of concept that I can share with other irrigation companies, right? So now we're going to take that system, bundle it up, and he's going to create a software as a service called Upsurge, which is where he goes and targets other irrigation companies and says, yo, I'm a living, breathing example of this perfect system that I've built to use and scale my irrigation company. So all you other irrigation companies out there, I have this perfect system that's catered and ready for you to implement into your irrigation business and grow and scale your company. The last one we did it for was for a painting company last year. We scaled their painting business. We dialed in that system. Then he spun up a software as a service targeting other painting companies saying, I have this awesome system just for painting companies. And now that software as a service is also a 7-figure company. So he has 2 7-figure companies off of one DFS because we took the core DFS, turned it into a proprietary system specifically for that vertical and industry, and then launched a software as a service product of it. But with that being said, that's still 2 different entities. So yes, Garrett, you gotta, what's my customer journey for the Lone Star avatars, and then what's my customer journey for the Upsurge avatars. And since you haven't launched Upsurge yet, I would like make sure you're 100% on your Lone Star journey before you start putting any mind or attention on the Upsurge journey.
Okay.
You got anything else for us today, Garrett, that you want to add to that?
I'm just trying to absorb everything, and I wish Michael could have been on this call with me. Michael, my son has joined me, and I really need. I think ultimately he's going to be my Upsurge guy at the end of the day.
Fuck yeah, I can see that too. I can see that easily.
Yeah, and he's much more technically savvy, and just I'm old, so it's difficult.
And we'll be uploading this on both my page and Zach's page when it's done. So whenever it's done, we'll tag you guys, and then
Okay,
y'all can whip the post for us. Essentially, tag anybody else you feel needs to see it.
all right, cool. I'll do that. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Appreciate
Orlando,
both you guys.
have something that you wanted to add to it?
What's up, guys? Marv, Zach, good, excellent, bro.
So for y'all that don't know, I want to introduce Orlando real quick. So my first experience with High Level was Orlando reaching out to me saying, hey, Marv, I know you're an automation guy. I have this cool project that I'm working on. It's on this new platform called High Level. This is when High Level was in beta, my first days of ever using High Level. So the fact that the Automation Go even exists, y'all got to give it up to this guy, Orlando, because it would have never existed if he would have never came to me with that project.
That's all you, Marv, brother. I just showed you what's capable, and you guys took it to the next level, man. It's impressive to see what you guys have done. So congratulations. And whoever's on the fence, this guy's the man. And Zach, sounds like you're in good hands too, my friend. So pleasure to meet you guys.
Thanks, sir.
Just one quick thing, Marv. Over the kind of evolving of High Level, and man, you guys have done great. I was just kind of looking at all the stuff here that you've implemented. Can you kind of just speak a little bit to your current clients and potentially future clients on the mobile aspect? A lot of people think they have to stay on their laptops or glued to the desktop to kind of communicate to, whether it's lead gen or whether they're, trying to put these. Do you guys find that you've using like the mobile app, is that helpful or beneficial in kind of conversions or communication, or kind of what's your guys' experience been with that?
I personally love the mobile app. However, like it's a catch-22 for me, right? So I personally try to plan a time where I'm sitting at my computer because the platform works best on desktop. I can do all the things without skipping a beat on the desktop. Plus, I like to control and be very intentional throughout my day, right? So where a lot of people operate in a reactive state where they're just waiting for the notifications to come in and waiting for it like through the mobile app. where I am very intentional on, no, it's time for me to work leads. I'm going to sit down for these 2 hours and work leads and do it from my computer. And I have the mobile app for the instance that when I am running around, I can still call my leads. I can still manage the pipeline. So how we set up the automations is it's all pipeline and tag heavy, right? So you can fully leverage the mobile app when you're running the dual funnel system. And because you're right, like in this day and age, you got to be able to do 90% of it from your phone. So yeah, we design and we set up all the framework and build it all out on desktop, but we run a lot of it from the mobile app. I know this particular thing was is the most challenging for home service providers, right? Because home service providers have a different way of selling every single time. Sometimes they book through the app, sometimes they use different invoicing software, sometimes they're bundled together with two different apps. So sometimes it gets unique depending on use case, but I'd say for 90% of people that we implement the dual funnel system for, they can run the mobile app without skipping a beat. And that's solely because we engineered it to run based on pipeline stage updates and based on specific tags being added.
Absolutely. And I was just wondering, like, you dropped some serious gold, you guys, regarding the 5 minutes callback. Back in the day when me and Marv had just initially met, the project I was working on was lead gen for real estate agents. And I'm sure you guys know, like, they don't call the damn leads, even if it was like 15 minutes or later. So those metrics are specifically spot on if you can. And that was one of the things. I know that the app wasn't fully developed. I custom coded ours. And yeah, sure enough, they called them right. Like if you are a service based and you're out in the field or whatever, it's like, hey, oh, I got a text or I got an email. And I looked at Marv's stuff and he has it every way. You're getting notified. So you better call the damn lead. Call the damn lead. So the mobile app definitely, if you're not at a computer, you can't necessarily do that. Yeah, jump on it. And so that's all I just kind of wanted to ask, see how that was going with you guys. But thanks.
Of course. And guys, our statistics show that 80% of your users, 80 plus, are going to be mobile users. So keep that in mind when you're building out your funnels, you're building out your emails, you're shooting and recording your content, you're making posts. Like 80% plus your users are going to be tuning in from their mobile device. Garrett, you got your hand raised. What's up?
So I was just going to say, I use the mobile app, most of the time, and because I am in home services, I'm in the field all the time, and I've got all my tags are relative to my pipeline stages. So things either get tagged or untagged as I move them through whichever pipeline it is and whatever stage it is. And so, I have a good experience with it. I know that I move much more if I'm in front of my desktop. It does work. You can move just much more fluidly and much more consistently, and it's much less rattling. But when you're in the field, the lead connector app really works pretty good, and as long as you've got it set up and you learn to use it. So it's kind of my default, and I made sure that I pushed myself through the mobile app more than I did on the desktop app, because if I didn't have it tuned in to where it worked well with my mobile app, then if I was, then it wouldn't work as what I knew I could handle it on the desktop, but I needed to make sure I had it perfected on the mobile side. But it works. It really works pretty good. It's not super intuitive, and you've got to have to know what to click, because they just got some upgrades that they need to do there, but you can be pretty functional with this, especially you learn its quirks. But yeah, just kind of speaking out to that same thing.
Yeah, absolutely. Like this guys is why the customer journey is so imperative, right? Because you hear Zach and I toss around like, we're guaranteed going to save you hours. Like we have one sales team of 8 people. We saved every single solitary person on the sales team over 20 hours a week by implementing the dual funnel system. And it was because we looked at the customer journey And we said, guys, how are you managing your leads? Are you using spreadsheets? Are you going through an app? How are you moving your leads back and forth? How are you following up with your leads? What is the journey you as the agent or the service provider? What are you doing to manage these leads and take it through it? And then we just engineer the pipelines to be like, well, he's going to be out in the field, mobile all the time. So what are the limitations of the lead connector app, and how can we design and engineer the system to follow that precise journey that he's taking when he's out on the field all the time working these leads? So it's just a matter of being 100% crystal clear on how you yourself want to put these leads through the journey, how the leads are going to interact with you and consume that journey, what is their interpretation of the instructions you're giving them. And then you build the pipelines and tags according to how you want it done. Garrett, how many times have you come to me with your new ideas? And I'm like, Garrett, you guys just got to sit down and figure out where you want to take them, how you want it to operate first. Then you go into the workflows, because how many times have you and Michael tripped yourselves up because y'all went into the workflows first, trying to build out the actions and test it before lining out, this is where I want to go, then building it. In your own experience as not the engineer, trying to figure out how to do this for yourself, what worked out better? Figuring out where you wanted to take them before you touch the workflow, or just diving into the workflow and figuring it out?
Oh, definitely. You gotta have to map it out, and you kind of have to go back and forth with it. But certainly, you've got to know where you want to take it before you can then design it. Because if you try to design it from the other end, you kind of don't know until you kind of test it. Kind of back to the 100 leads. You got to push 100 people through the system before you can start dialing in and making things better. Kind of back to that same thing, but you've got to know you got to have some sort of vision of what that journey is going to be. And I've got to dial that in better now that I've had a couple 100 people go through the system, or maybe more than that, actually.
Yeah. So now let's get into the actual system. Anybody have any more last minute questions on like the customer journey and mapping that out before we dive into the system?
Real quick before you move forward, I do want to commend you. I've been on a lot of this type of stuff, and it's really hard to pay attention, but you are really engaging. The other thing is, when I first came in, I really maybe it skipped a lot of people's minds, but you did go over a little bit of the 13 emotional manipulators as well as cognitive biases when you were talking about your hooks and that type of stuff. Do you have any recommended reading material that you would recommend over those things?
So I don't know if you guys have ever heard of him, but Jeremy Miner, he teaches a technique called NEPQ, which is diving into the sales psychology of people's mindset and how they move the needle forward, how they walk people through the sales process, how diving into their mind and defining a customer journey so you can tell them the message they want to hear before they even know they want to hear it. Right. So I follow Jeremy Miner. Taylor Welch is another guy that I learned a lot of sales stuff from. Obviously, the man, the myth, the lesson, Russell Brunson. That's where my core sales training comes from. That's where the Big Marv character even came from. I read .com Secrets. He's like, you got to create an attractive character. I was fresh out the basement at Microsoft, and I was like, well, people aren't going to talk to this Marvin Kaufman. Who the fuck is that? And then growing up my whole life, I was picked on because my last name was Kaufman, and people, what's up, Kaufman? And so I'm like, I'm not going to run with that. What's an attractive character I can come up with? So it started with reading .com Secrets and then getting deeper and understanding like there's actually a psychology behind this. There's actually a way I can understand a human brain the same way I can understand the algorithm in Facebook, right? Our humans are always going to human, people are always going to people. So if you understand intimately where that journey is, the thoughts, the emotions, the things that they've gone through, then it's very easy for you to tap in and get them to put themselves in whatever shoes you're trying to get them to put into. Zach, I know you personally have done way more sales psychology training than I have. So what are some of the sources that you go to when you're trying to learn how do I define the customer journey and what's that sales psychology?
So 1,000,000%, this is a shameless plug. But that's exactly what so my course is called Dopamine Dealer, and it's literally all about controlling the customer journey. It's this consumer psychology behind it. There's a lot of resources that went into that. You know, man, I'm staring at my bookshelf. There's literally like, I can't even tell you how many different resources I went through. I spent
This one right here.
I went through all of
This
20.
is one of the best ones.
Yeah,
that-
the ultimate sales machine. I'm actually on my fourth way around around that one as we speak. $100 million offer by Alex Hermosi. Seth Godin's Purple Cow.
Yeah, I got those two.
Yep.
Pitch anything.
Pitch anything. Of course, I went through all the traffic secrets, expertsecrets.com secrets, been through all three of those. Jeff Walker's launch. All of those are going to be some pretty good ones about, launch, I would say specifically is a little bit more detailed when it comes to a journey, but, I'm pretty biased on my course. I think it's pretty incredible.
Well, when you
It's-
spend 6 figures to fucking develop a course.
Yeah, I got about 120, 150 grand invested in that. I've got over 1,000 man hours dedicated to that platform. And basically it's 15 chapters. Every chapter has 3 lessons. The first lesson is going to go over the strategy and the psychology of it. Then chapter 2 is going to teach you how to start thinking backwards. It's going to teach you how to start noticing that on all of your competitors, and then how you are going to reverse engineer that for your business. And then chapter 3 walks you through actually implementing it into your business. So it's pretty intense. It's going to be done with you. It's going to walk you step by step, but
And
Yeah.
everybody that is registered for the workshop, we're giving you guys access to dopamine dealers at no cost.
Yeah.
Right. This is, like we said, this is our loss leader, right? Zach and I want to give you guys everything that you need to not only build and launch the dual funnel system, but all the sales training and psychology and everything that you're going to need to successfully pump traffic into the system and get results. Because transparently, Zach and I want you guys to put us on retainer eventually, right? So we're going to give you all the tools and resources and everything that you need to earn enough revenue that it makes sense to come back and say, well, these motherfuckers just gave me the system and all this training and everything for free. I'm now a multi-6, 7-figure business owner. Why the fuck wouldn't I come back and hire these guys to help me take it to the next level? At least that's Zach and I's thought when we're like, hey, do you want to release an offer that we're going to lose money on for the sake of maybe making more money later? And in the industry terms, that's called a loss leader. And that's what this is for us, for you guys, because we care about y'all succeeding more than anything, because we know a direct byproduct of y'all success is our success.
facts.
Zach, you got anything else you want to tap on to the dopamine dealers or any, because I know you like to come up with crazy shit that you don't tell me about to give away. So you got anything you want to add to there before we move into the system?
No, man, I'm not going to throw you any curveballs today.
All right, perfect. All right, well, let's jump into the actual funnel itself, right? So I'm gonna go back to my account because again, I'm just showing you guys my live breathing example of how we roll out the dual funnel system for myself, how it all works. And then you guys are just going to basically reverse engineering what Zach and I are doing and applying it to your own brands, right? So the actual funnel itself, and I'm running 2 versions of the dual funnel system right now. Actually, I'm running the 6-step version, which is the core, download the dual funnel training, and then the 4-step strategy, which is the workshop you guys are in currently. And so the core one, this is the one that we've literally put countless hours and dollars behind it, testing it, is this framework. So there's a book, and this is where I learned this, is a book called The Funnel Hackers Cookbook. I don't know if I have a physical copy. Yeah, here's my physical copy. So in this cookbook, it goes through all the different funnels, all the different. It's a book that's hands down worth it. I'll drop the link to you guys for it, but let me pull up the PDF. Where is it? It's in here. 22-day funnel hacker cookbook. This is actually one of my most successful free video series that I shot. You can see I shot it back in 2019, where literally this book goes over 22 different funnel structures, 22 different funnel types, when you'd want to use those funnels, why you'd want to use those funnels. And I shot a video for every single funnel that's in the book, going over it, building it live, and why you'd want to implement it. So the dual funnel system, and the reason it's called the dual funnel system, because I actually named it parallel programming initially, because my idea was like, oh, programming things in parallel to where like you're gonna do one thing and it's gonna automatically take them here, then automatically, and it's so fucking cool. It's parallel programming, and everybody was like, parallel, what is that? I'm like, bro, we took two funnels and we blended them together, dual funnels, and I, oh, no shit. And then dual funnel blew up. But anyways, it's from me going into here and figuring out the two core funnels that we typically build for people, which would be a lead acquisition funnel. And then somewhere in the back end, we're trying to drive them back to a booking funnel to get them to book a call. So we're like, well, why not just engineer it to where we can get them to download and book in the exact same funnel? How can we craft the journey to make them do that? And so there's a framework that is to it. And let me get to it. Yeah, this book, like it literally goes over every element that you see on different funnel pages, the psychology behind timers, the psychology behind different blocks, why you want to put those blocks in those different spots and pages and everything. So when you guys look at the dual funnel system, this is how I want you guys to see it, is simply as a recipe, right? So there's sections, there's rows, there's elements. And when you put those things together, you have a recipe and you end up with a final product, which is a page, right? So when you're looking at the dual funnel system, I want you to think of it as like, this is a recipe. Now, how can I modify these ingredients to where it fits me and my brand, right? And so you'll see that up here, we have a 2-column row, which on the left side is typically going to be a landing page video or some sort of graphic that's promoting whatever the thing it is that they're getting. So if it's a 4-step DFS and the call to action is book a consultation, you probably want to use a landing page video where they're going to get to know you a little bit prior to clicking the button. If it's a lead magnet like this, where they're downloading training, it makes sense to have a graphic that's on a mobile device, because 80% of people are going to be consuming this on their mobile phone. So I want them to visualize going through the dual funnel system on their mobile device. Then you're going to open it up with a hook. This is the number one thing. What is the number one thing you're going to get out of doing this thing with me? So the number one thing you're going to get out of downloading the dual funnel system is you're going to be able to scale your business, right? And then we go into a sub headline that is the roundup. So like when you're fishing, right, you have your hook, which is like, here's the hook that I'm throwing into the water to catch the fish. But how do you get the fish to bite and actually be able to reel it out of the water? Well, that's your first sub headline. This is what I call the bait, right? So this is the bait that you're putting on the hook to make them bite and click the button, right? So whatever you write here, it needs to dive into what is the pain point that they're going to get, or what is the pain point that we're hitting that this hook is going to solve, right? So I'm saying, are you tired of door knocking, cold calling, and spending all month trying to book a handful of calls and appointments only to be stood up or have people unwilling to invest? This one line, I know almost every single person on this call understands the pain of this one line right here. Because I know every single one of you have tried lead acquisition by doing door knocking, cold calling, or you've gone through the experience of spending all month trying to book a handful of calls only to be disappointed. I have a feeling if you haven't gone through this, you probably wouldn't even be on this call right now, because if you had it all figured out and it was running great, you wouldn't be on this call trying to figure out how do you automate lead acquisition and self-booking. Unless you guys just love Zach and I that much, you're just trying to show some love and support. And for those of you that are here, thank you for that. the idea, that's the idea here. So when you the very first thing, and this is what we'd call above the fold. So above the fold is, what do they see before they scroll down on their device, right? So this is what are they going to do before, and this isn't tall enough, but really, but above the fold, when you look at this, is going to be somewhere, it should look something like this, where before you have to scroll down, you're going to understand the thing that you want before you click a button, right? And if this isn't enough to make them click the button and download it, now we're going to go into what is the top 6 things that I'm going to get out of this product, this downloading this lead magnet, booking a consultation with you.
Recording in progress.
That I'm going to get out of it, right? Devices. Yeah, he'll come back here in a second. Zach, I muted you, so feel free to unmute yourself.
Yeah, I'm back here now.
All right, so steps are, and you guys will notice I haven't put one screenshot of the Automation Go platform. I haven't put one screenshot of the actual deliverables of the dual funnel system. You'll notice that these 6 bullet points, I haven't even talked about building a single automation or a single funnel or any of that, because honestly, people don't actually give a fuck to see the back end. That's how I used to sell the dual funnel system, is I get somebody on a call and I tried this fucking really long 40-50 minute presentation of, we're going to build you these cool funnels and you're going to have these cool automations back here that's going to do this, and you're going to have these opportunities where you can see people and move them down your pipeline and blah blah blah. Nobody gave a fuck about any of that, because most people can barely turn on a computer and build a funnel to begin with. So most of them are just getting lost in technical babble that I'm fucking unloaded on their chest and that they didn't ask for, right? So what they really care about is, what are you going to do to change my life? They don't give a fuck about you. They really don't give a fuck about the price point. All they care about is, how are you going to change my life or my business? How are you going to serve me? People are selfish. That's just humans being humans. That's how humans operate. So don't try to go too deep into, especially if you're a technical provider. Speaking to you other agency owners, don't like, learn from me. Don't make the same mistake I did and start thinking, like, I guarantee people don't think it's as cool as we do. Like, they really don't give a fuck. They just care about, what is the result you're going to get from me, right? So you want 6 things where that's going to be the number one thing, and hopefully that's enough to push them over the edge and actually convert for you. I'm actually missing a call to action on this. I typically have a button right here, but it looks like we're just going right into the video. So if this isn't enough, then I'm like, okay, maybe this will be enough to get them over the edge. So in mine, I reversed the strategy where I typically have a video up here and then a graphic up here, but just me, for my personal audience, when we tested video being up here versus the graphic being down here, the video being down here converted better for me. But that's not to say that we haven't launched dual funnel systems where video on the top doesn't convert the best. Actually, on average, video being at the top converts the best out of any dual funnel system that we build. But we listen to number and data, and for this specific funnel, the video being down here converts better. So just think of this video in the framework. This video and this graphic here are interchangeable. It's one of those things you're going to have to run traffic to and figure out what converts best for you. And so this video, even this video, let me show you guys this video. Again, I'm not doing a demo. I'm not showing any technical shit. I'm literally just, what is your pain point, and how am I going to solve this pain point with my thing? Look, being an entrepreneur or business owner, time is scarce. I get it. I know you're pressed for time, so I'll make this quick. My dual funnel system is made for any business owner, entrepreneur, service provider, coach, or consultant who's looking to fill their calendar with high quality opportunities and aggressively scale their annual revenue and monthly recurring revenue. How? My simple 4-step process works in parallel with itself to generate the highest quality opportunities, take those opportunities, turn them into booked appointments, take those booked appointments, and then turn them into closed deals. Using the parallel programming principle, we combine the latest and... Well, you guys heard me use parallel programming right there. That's how I learned that nobody gives a fuck about parallel programming, no matter how cool it sounds. Technology, automation, and paid advertising to build a robust, predictable, and scalable custom tailored system to work inside your brand around the clock for you. So whether you rely on in-home consultations, product demos, sales calls, virtual consultations, it doesn't matter. This will work 24/7 inside your brand to generate the highest quality opportunities and then nurture those opportunities into booked appointments. Now, unfortunately, I can't cover every single thing that the dual funnel system can do in this short video, but I can spend as much time as needed to answer any of your questions that you may have on a one-on-one strategy call. Look, I tell it like it is, and I'll tell you everything you want to know about the dual funnel system. All you got to do is click that link below. Let's hop on a call and talk about scaling your brand with the dual funnel system today. This is Big Marv. Thank you so much for tuning in. One love. You guys see, I didn't have crystal clean audio. I was kind of nervous starting through some of my words there. I shot that on an iPhone. So like, guys, don't overthink that you need some fancy production or something on your page. I think Russell Brunson and Dan Kennedy have proved it plenty of times. Ugly funnels convert. So this is another place where we run into issues with clients. We have one client, we've been waiting like 8 fucking weeks for a goddamn video. And it's because we can't get them out of their comfort zone to go shoot a quick video on an iPhone like this on a plain wall. You know, like just get out there. Your videos are going to change. I want to show you guys my very first video on YouTube. It's fucking terrible, like in regards to like now that I know what good content is and what kind of content converts and everything, like it's fucking terrible. However, Big Marv wasn't born overnight. Like I came straight out of the basement of Microsoft, so I had to learn how to create content. I had to learn how to be this person. Damn it, is there a quick way to go to the first video? Hold on. But I used to not have all these transitions, these nice thumbnails, these other things, and even my content, like you can look at other people's content and it's even produced better. So even mine is still constantly evolving, but it all started with, fuck it, I'm going to just get out a cell phone and make it happen. So I want to show you guys my very first Facebook ad that I shot with an iPhone. I just grabbed my buddy. He's not even a videographer. He's just somebody we built cool shit with, and we smoked a lot of weed together. And I was like, hey, I'm doing this new Facebook thing. Can you come shoot this ad for me? Let's see. Man, been doing this a while. Yeah, those are some fun ads that we just had some clients make. Yeah, look, just in my living room, terrible lighting. I used to have a dread beard, which I don't know why I ever thought that was a good idea, but apparently I thought dreaded beards were the end thing. But here it is, right here. Here's my very first Facebook ad. What's up, guys? I'm Big Marv, and as you can see, I love cars. But you know what I love more than cars? Computers. I built my first computer when I was 10 years old, and I never looked back. You know what I spent the last 5 years of my life doing? Working at Microsoft. It was amazing. I've managed a lot of servers, built a lot of processes, wrote a lot of documentation, and then I taught everybody how to do my job. How's this gonna help you? Everybody needs a Big Marv in their pocket. Join me every day as I go through and give you free tips and tricks on how to build your shop, how to get you more shop customers. Everybody knows social media is the rising platform. That's a rising star, right?
That's where all your customers hang out, social media. What I can do is I can help you rebrand yourself and build that social media profile and let your community know that you're the guy to go to. You're the guy to trust. And then having Big Marv in your pocket, I take care of all that technical stuff in the back end that you A, don't know how to do, or B, don't have time to do. You're too busy in the shop building cool stuff, right? So join me tomorrow, click the link below, and let's get you some more shop customers. This is Big Marv. Thank you guys for watching. One love.
Like even this old logo that I threw in Photoshop and just said convert to vector and left it alone after that, right? So when you guys are building out your first funnel, looking at, you know, like your video and whatever your graphic is, like just know that we all start somewhere. It doesn't have to be perfect. Don't try to pretend like you're somewhere further in your journey than you're not. Just be you, be 100% authentic. Keep it in mind, people are buying you. They're not buying whatever the fuck it is you're selling. They're buying you. So it's just imperative that as you're building this out, as you're defining this messaging, as you're creating your videos and talking to your tribe, you notice even in this video, I'm talking about what are their pain points. There are guys that are in automotive shops just trying to get more customers in to fix their cars up, to fix their bikes or whatever. They don't have any time to be worrying about the tech and the other bullshit. So they can call me. I'll worry about that bullshit for them so they can focus on getting more clients, more customers. So just keep that in mind as you're building this out and you're coming up with your own framework. Then again, below this video, if these 6 points weren't enough, now I'm going to go into the three points I want them to pay attention to the most, right? Because like these 6 sounds good, but let's get to the brass tacks. These are the 3 reasons. These are the top 3 things why you're going to take advantage of the thing that I'm offering you right now. And then if you have social proof, you can also add in, like in the framework, social proof would be here. I think mine is reviews. I personally just don't have it on there. That page converts to cold traffic without reviews being on there. But if you have social proof, man, I can't even remember what my damn review page is. I know it's in the workshop funnel. If you guys went through this funnel, you would have seen these. But you can create a review section similar to this, just call it client results. And if you have videos or testimonials or whatever, you can throw those in here beneath this section here, right? And so if you have social proof, this is where you will want to add it into the framework. And then I just have a little, this is even something that we tested. I used to have a picture of myself right here versus my logo, and my logo gets more people to click this button than having my face right here. Even though my logo is my face, so I don't know how to take that. Maybe the cartoon version of myself is prettier than the real life version of myself. I don't know. But I know I got a 10% increase on this button click after I changed to this logo. So that's the landing page. That's where you guys are going to spend the most amount of your time and effort and energy and coming up with your messaging and everything, because that's the first place people are going to see when you're releasing content and driving people to this page. Before we move into the other pages, does anybody have any questions, comments, concerns on the landing page itself? Right, going once. I'm going to assume everybody.
Marv, what kind of language should we avoid in our offers?
So language you should avoid. I personally don't do a language you should avoid unless I'm dealing with a particular traffic source, right? So for example, if you're running Facebook ads, there's words that you have to avoid on the landing page, and you have to have things like this disclaimer: this site is not part of Facebook, blah, 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 blah. right? In the nature of transparency. So if you're going to run paid traffic, the only reason this text is here because I'm running to a specific traffic source that requires these specific disclaimers. If you're a fitness trainer and you're running paid traffic using Facebook ads, you can't use before and after photos of like a crazy transformation as your creative in the ad. So as far as like what do I want to avoid, I personally base that on what traffic sources am I using, and are there things there that are just blatantly like against the terms and conditions to use that messaging. So like, for example, you don't want to use things like make money online, no brainer investment, get money today. The word free is typically scrutinized. So you might want to just replace the word free with things like no costs for you, or like, Zach, what are your thoughts there when you think of like what to avoid on a landing page? Do you think about it in the same mindset of like, well, what's the traffic source? What can we get away with? Or do you have some other tips or pointers there on landing page verbiage?
Yeah, absolutely. So it really, again, it comes down to the message, and it comes down to the offer, and it comes down to you need to not only attract the correct customer, but repel the wrong customer. So a lot of this stuff is stuff that we worked through and teach in the beginning. Now, I don't like the word free either. I like coming up with ways to like, you'll probably never, well, I don't want to lie, and I also don't want you to go back and look at prior stuff till I learn some of this and try and call me out. But typically, I don't like giving free stuff out or giving massive discounts out, because for me, if I wanted to push someone over the line, I'd rather add additional value on top of it, like added value, instead of discounting the original product or service, right? Or be just fully transparent in what the reasoning for that is, right? Like, we're marketing guys, right? How many marketing gurus do you see that are going out there and being like, hey, let me teach you how to market your business and this, that, whatever, and take my course right now for 99% off. It's like, cool. I'm going to hire you to tell me to just list my shit for 99% off. Like, like if you can't market your own product or service correctly, why would I come to you to learn? So like, it's all going to come back to the overall objective that we're going to be accomplishing because of your product or service and things of that nature. So like for me, like if you're not going to use the word free, right, it's going to be like complimentary, right? Like what are some positive words that you can use instead of just sounding like you're giving everything away for free because you can't actually market it correctly to charge for it? Like, how can we make it seem like it is just a value add in a grander picture than anything else? Like, it's hard for me to say like, oh, well, we don't heavily discount stuff when we discount in the dual funnel system from 15 grand to 5 grand. Now you're like, well, damn, obviously it's not that great of a service, right? Versus now I'm like, hey, this is our loss leader. Our entire process with this is to get you in and show you exactly what we can do, and that we can help you get into profit at a lower barrier entry for the entire purpose that you retain us after the process. Now it makes a whole lot more sense, rather than it just being like, oh man, dude, these guys couldn't sell it at 15. So now they're gotta be forced to sell it for 5. So just think about those types of principles and how Ed applies to your product or service.
Yeah, exactly. And there's other things too that we do that's solely on brand, right? Like, I know, and I've even tested this page converts higher when I use green and blue buttons over red buttons, right? And that's just color psychology and how human brains work or whatever. Red means stop, green means go, right? I know that I could get higher conversions from using a green button. However, because it's not on brand for me, I choose to just do this. And when I go deeper into the analytics and survey my audience, when I was using the green and blue button, I was getting more opt-ins, right? When I use phrases like get the dual funnel system for free, I got more opt-ins, right? However, the quality of the person, these people aren't people that actually follow Big Marv and know who Big Marv is. These are the people that get turned off and offended when I say fuck on a workshop, right? I literally gave somebody a $20,000 package for no cost, and they withdrew from the program because I said fuck too much. They couldn't get over how much I cussed, so they couldn't use the course of the program or my one-on-one training because I offended them too much in the way that I talked, right? So then when I was like, I don't give a fuck if I convert 10% more people when I use my face and my red color. Everybody that comes through, they tell me, I love your branding. I love how consistent you keep it. I love that it matches everywhere. And you're not just changing to a green button solely to get 10% more people. Right now, I'm getting a higher quality person that's coming in specifically because that's how I talk. I know I've run test headlines before where I literally have F*CK, which is like just a censored word version of fuck. And I would have actually said fuck if Facebook wouldn't shut my ad down. I'm like dancing that gray area of whether Facebook's going to shut me down or not. And I know I can get higher conversions when I don't say fuck. Some things that people might want to tell you avoid on a Facebook ad. I see PR guys do this all the time. They have you rework your Facebook profile. They have you put a clean headshot where you're wearing a fucking suit and you have this neutral blue background, and they use these specific colors and everything to draw attention and everything to your profile. But what you're doing is people buy people, not products or services, right? And so they see you, this clean cut, fucking cleaned up everything on social media. You've catered your ads and your traffic and everything appropriately with what to avoid to attract the most people. But now when they get on the phone with you and they're like, fuck, Mar, you're wearing a sleeveless shirt. You're fucking dropping an F-bomb every now and then. You just lit up a blunt on the sales call. What the fuck? Right. Whereas if I just own that and it's like, I know I should avoid that, but that's not Big Marv. So I'm not going to avoid it. I'm just going to say fuck on the landing page. I'm going to wear a sleeveless shirt when I shoot my ads, and I'm just going to be Big Marv. I am attracting higher quality people, even though I know from a marketing standpoint, I'm doing things that I know I shouldn't be doing just because and it's affecting my opt-in rate. However, on the back end, I'm getting higher quality people. Does that make sense, Dimitri, of like in terms of what do you want to avoid and not avoid? I would say you want to avoid not being yourself. That's what you want to avoid. As long as you're being yourself, you're genuine, you're authentic, fuck everything else. Let the numbers tell you where you should move the needle, not some fucking guru that tells you this is how you should present yourself.
Right on. That's it. I can't be any other way. So that's what I've resisted doing content because I didn't know how to do it. But being true to oneself is definitely the best way forward.
The page one, like day one of this blueprint, is go live on your Facebook, plant your fucking flag in the ground, tell people this is who I am, this is who I'm here to serve, this is why I want to serve you, and this is how I'm going to serve you. If you don't fall in that bracket, you can either ride on this journey with me and rock with me. If you don't like it, fuck you. Go somewhere else. There's millions of other people on the social media platform you can follow. You can fuck right off. You don't need to be in my audience. I send emails all the time. If you're on my list and you don't engage with my emails and stuff, you might even get an email from me that says, why the fuck are you on my list? Can you please do me a favor? There's this big red button in the email below. I just want you to hit that unsubscribe button because I'm so sick and tired of sending you messages and you're not fucking engaging with me. So can you please fuck off? I want to reserve my resources to people that actually consume this. And when you talk to other marketing experts, they're going to be like, Marv, you know how much of your list you're just tossing in the garbage because you can't get over yourself because you got too much of an ego that you can't restrain from using an F-bomb? I'm like, hey, marketing guru, can you fuck off? Because this is how I talk to my audience, and they're either here with me or they're not here with me, and I don't give a fuck either way. Because regardless of whether those people are with me or not, I'm still changing lives for the ones that don't care that I drop an F-bomb, for the ones that don't care that I just lit up a blunt, for those that don't care that I'm heavily tattooed, right? Because those people know that the tattoos and the sleeveless shirts and the F-bombs aren't keeping me from engineering a system for them. Does that make sense, Dimitri?
Yeah, it does. It definitely
All right,
makes
perfect.
sense.
All right, guys, any more questions on the landing page before we dive into the rest of the funnel? Going once. All right, cool. So the next bit of the funnel, again, the next step is just a strategy invite. This is a very simple page. Is you're gonna have a single hook, right? Right. I know that they just downloaded something, so I'm trying to tell them, thank you for downloading it. But before you go, I know you want to get the most out of this system. So if you want to do that, watch this video below. Right. So you want to give them a reason to watch that video and not just close the page. So one, you want to acknowledge that they just did something for you. So that's what the first line is. So this line is going to be, thank you so much for downloading. Thank you so much for booking a consultation. Thank you so much for whatever it is. You just want to acknowledge them. And then you want to give them a bridge. This is the bridge that they're going to cross to take the next action with you. So you can say, before you dive into that lead magnet, before you go scale your brand with this, before you go blah, 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 and then watch this video. I'm going to show you how to get the most out of it. Then again, the video is going to be sub 1 minute. I'm at 1 minute and 1 second, but it really does not have to be a long video. And you're just confirming what is the action that they just took. You took them on a journey with you. So you're just trying to say, hey, you just did this thing. I'm acknowledging that you just did this thing. Now let me help you get the most out of this thing that you just did, right? Do not let this be a shiny toy. We live in a day and age where so many people just download random shit that they get on the internet. For the love of all things holy, if you just fucking stop downloading things and paid attention to this, it will help you out. You don't need another thing. It's going to take some hard work and time and effort, but I promise it's worth it. Then we're driving them. Again, you see how simple this page is. We got the footer, the legal pages, and we're just giving them, you either schedule a time or you fuck off. Right. The idea of a funnel and why a funnel is so much different than a website. Right. So this is my website here, and why I don't just drive traffic to my website. Because here on my website, even though I do have this call to action of here, book this demo, right? Or I have this call to action of book right now, they have the option to click and do other shit that I don't want them to do. I want them to take just this call to action. So the idea of the funnel is we only want to give them two options. They can either schedule a time or they can say, no, thank you. We don't want to give them the option to go leave a review. We don't want to give them the option to join a group. We don't want to give them any other options than one of the call to actions we want them to take. So that's the idea of the funnel is there's no top menu. There's no nothing else. They have one option. They can either do the thing or fuck off. Right. So they're either going to say, yes, let's book a time, or no, thank you. I just want the thing that I downloaded. So if they say, yes, they want to book a time, again, this is just a very simple page that's going to have just an entry. Like this don't have to be nothing special. It literally says, use the calendar below, wait 5 seconds for it to load. Boom, vacant. And then again, there's nothing special down here. I like how my team put 2023 to 2099. Guys, that's not the solution there. I go, Zach, we gotta go talk to Eric. I think he's just trying to be funny.
This is what happens when developers smoke weed.
But it's just very simple. Legal pages, calendar, use the calendar. Then again, when they go there, and I've also seen this, right? Like people have a calendar page, they'll have results under here, join their Facebook group and all that. No, I only want you to book a time. You book a time or fuck off. Right. So that's the idea of the funnel page. And then the pre-call survey, again, it's another simple design. And this funnel is preloaded in your Automation Goat account. So when you get into the Automation Goat, like you're going to have a series of templates. So let me show you guys what that snapshot looks like. You'll see that we give you the dual funnel system, which are my core funnels, and all the templates of like, here's the webinar funnel, here's the prospecting V1 versus V2. We have all the pages already built out to where it literally says, you know, your logo here, headline about your product or service, benefit, blah, blah, blah. So you can use our templates. And then depending on your vertical, we have some that aren't following the dual funnel system page recipe. but they are still funnels that can convert for you. So if you look in here, right, you can find these funnels. And again, they're all placeholder templates. You're just going to follow the same strategy, the same pages, and you're just going to go through and modify it to be whatever works for you and your brand. So in your automation goat account, that's why there's a whole special with this workshop is we built all of this snapshot to be preloaded for you. And then the thank you pages, again, like these are all very simple. Headline, the thing I want you to do, and a button. And then the strategy thank you page. This is if they went through, booked a time, filled out the survey, and now they're on your calendar. And then we have the call to action for the group. And then this one is, again, you can see it's a very simple headline. Your session's been booked, but before you leave the page, watch the video below for next steps, right? Because they just booked a time with me. They probably want to know what's next. And then now I'm going to give them a video letting them know what's next. And then the group. And download thanks. Again, very simple page. Thanking them for downloading. Thank you. Let me see if I called them out on this call. All right. What's up, guys? Thank you so much for downloading my dual funnel system. Now, if you're like many of the entrepreneurs that have come through here and downloaded the dual funnel system, it can be quite overwhelming. No, that's not the right video. So, hey, but it's still on there. I guess it makes sense. I gotta update that video. All right, so that is the overall funnel strategy, how you'd want to design that strategy. If you're doing a 4-page DFS where you don't have a lead magnet, the only differentiator in the funnel is you're not going to have a call invite page. You're not going to have a download thank you page. You're just going to have the opt-in, the book a call, the pre-call strategy, and the session thank you page. Because on the front end, you're telling them, book a consultation with me. We can show you guys an example of that. Here is another client we're building. They're called BoxFi. They're a payment processing firm. You can see here's their 4-step funnel. And this is not live. We're like in the middle of developing this but as you can see, their call to actions are book an appointment. All right, there's a placeholder video, some statistics. What are the things they're going to get from us, the bullet points, and we're just book a call, book a consultation. That's the whole call to action there. Then they're going to go to a booking page, which again, you can see is very simple. We just have header, the actual calendar, and then a footer, but there's no other call to actions on these pages. Pre-call survey. So if you don't have a lead magnet, this is the framework that you'd be running. This page recipe, and then the standard thank you page. All right, so before we move into pipelines and the actual automations behind the dual funnel system, does anybody have any questions on the funnel itself? Speak now or forever hold your peace. Yeah, I don't know if to take that as like I'm doing a fucking fantastic job, so you guys just understand everything. If everybody's too shy to say something, but I'm gonna take those thumbs ups as you guys are doing good. I can keep moving forward. Zach, you got anything to add on the funnel part before we move into pipelines and automations?
No, sir. Just get straight to the point.
All right, perfect. So if you guys didn't figure out already, the automations are going to be totally based on you, your customer journey, how you've mapped this out, right? So your dual funnel system automations are going to look slightly different than everybody else's. So yours is going to be, your account's going to be preloaded with prospecting and sales. And this is what those look like. And again, it's depending on the customer journey that you have, right? So I'm going to go through mine just so you guys can see kind of what we're doing, right? So we have a couple different lead sources. We have some where they come through my website, right? So if they just go to marvinsworld.us and fill out the form there, they're going to get tagged, and that's how they're going to get pulled into here. Some are through my Facebook lead form. So Facebook integrates natively with the Automation Go platform. So these are lead form ads that I'm running on Facebook, and then I'm just pulling the ad in. That's one way that they're entering. So triggers is what is the thing that is happening that's going to trigger this series of events, right? So for me, this trigger is somebody first seeing the landing page here or here for the dual funnel system. And so there's got to be a series, wrong tab. There's got to be a series of events that happen after somebody opts into my funnel, right? So for me, the series of events that I want to happen is I want it to tag the user so I know what source they came from. I want it to grant access to my membership area where all the training videos are for the dual funnel system. I want to send a notification to myself because I want to know that a new lead just came in with their name, email, and information. I want to note their account that they just opted in and they're getting this thing. And I want to send them the email and text message follow-up that goes along with the dual funnel system. So once you define your trigger, which is this is the thing that's going to happen to trigger these series of events, then it's just a matter of leveraging the different actions in the workflow to make those series of events happen, right? So if you map out when you go deeper into your map here or here and you're defining, so I didn't define the lead notifications and everything that I want here because I had designed and engineered the system and I already know that I want those things to happen. So here I put the emphasis on the logic checks and the messages that are going to go out. But if you're new to this and you're not quite sure, like, what are the other actions you need to put in there outside of the actual messaging and logic checks, then go ahead and start building that into your map when you're lining it out. Think to yourself, like, when somebody fills out my pre-call survey, do I want to get an email that has all the questions and their answers? So I'll have their survey ready in my email. So when I get on a phone call, I don't have to go digging for the answers. I can just pull in my email and boom, it's all right there. Is that the experience that you want for yourself? Then go ahead and put that into the actions that you want to receive that, because some people want that notification. Some people don't want that notification. They'll just go into the platform and see it on the contact record. So it depends on you and what you and your team members want to go through, and then what you want your end user to see as they're working through it as well. Right. So it's as simple as hitting the plus sign and then selecting what are the different actions you want it to take. And these actions are pretty straightforward. But if you ever get lost and you're here in the platform and you don't know, you can always hit this black question mark here. You're going to be able to tap into our help library where we literally have, no matter what it is, we'll be able to break down workflows, triggers, call to actions, tags, what workflow action go to, workflow action add tag, workflow. So no matter what action you're trying to do in the workflow, you'll be able to look up workflow, and we're going to have a tutorial for you on how to do that. And if you go through the tutorials or and what we have here and it's still not enough, you still can't get your question answered, you can click the little chat bubble here, talk to my team. We got live chat, we got email chat support. And for those of you that are getting premium support, you even got my guy Scott on standby to help answer any questions that the help library and my standard support team can't answer. And so you're just going to hit the little plus sign and basically select the actions that coincide with your map, right? So if your map says I need to send a notification to myself, you're going to use something like internal notification. You're going to say, do you want to send an email to yourself, a notification to yourself, or an SMS? So a notification would be like, let's say you have the Lead Connector app installed, or you'll get a notification on your phone that says you just got a new lead that came in. Here's the information. Or if you're here on desktop, you'll get a notification here on desktop. SMS and email is just what it sounds like. Are you going to get an email that this thing happened, or are you going to get a text message? Then you can define your from name, like do not reply or whatever your company is. User type, you can even make this dynamic. You can say assign user, right? So if you did action one was I want to assign it. So let's say you have multiple sales reps, right, that are going to work these leads. Or you can use assign to user. You can select all your different salespeople, right? And then you could do an internal notification where you're going to send a text message to the person that owns the lead saying you got a new lead. So you'd say assigned user, and then you can say, you know, you have a new DFS lead, right? And then I can put name, email, phone. And then you can go here to custom values, contact name, contact, email, contact, phone. And now whenever somebody comes in, they're going to automatically be round robin to the next person in line. And then they're going to dynamically get a text message to the correct assigned person, letting that person know they just got a new lead in the door. And let's say you have a sales team where you got like a straight killer that always locks them down. So you want to get the straight killer to get most of the leads and then flow some of the leads to everybody else. Well, you can even split the traffic here unevenly, and you can say, well, this is my fucking killer, so I want them to be number one. Big Marv, he sucks dick a little bit, so we're gonna make him number 3. But the GOAT, man, he's better than Marv, so we're gonna give him number 2 priority, right? So you can set your different priority of who's gonna get the most leads, and you can adjust the weight here of who's gonna get it. You can say like Divine's gonna get 10 leads for every 3 leads Marv's gonna get. And so that's how you would set up different actions. So again, you just got to define the map and then come in here and program what are the actions that you want to happen based on that trigger in the map. So for me, I'm adding a tag, then I'm checking like they didn't come from Facebook, right? So if they didn't come from Facebook, they're going to go here. If they did come from Facebook, they're going to go over here and get a unique Facebook lead tag, right? Then I'm going to send them over here, and then everybody's going to get access to the dual funnel system. Then I'm going to assign the user to myself. Then I'm going to wait 10 minutes, right? Because 10 minutes should be enough time for them to get through the 5 pages of the funnel. So if it's been 10 minutes and they haven't booked with me yet, well, then I'm going to do a check and I'm going to send them over here, right? If they did book, I'm going to send them right into the deliverable of here's the dual funnel system you asked for, let's go. If they didn't book, right, this replaces the instant lead, like got to call and find out. So I send them a text message and a voice drop, and then I send myself a notification that somebody downloaded the dual funnel system but didn't book, so I can call up, follow up with that lead. And then now I'm just taking them through email after email. Now, because the dual funnel system is a training that I want you to get every day of this training, whether you book a call with me or not. So I'm not doing logic checks between here and kicking them out of the workflow if they didn't book a call, because I don't give a fuck if you booked a call with me or not. I want you to go through the entire 30-day training series of using the dual funnel system. So and some of your lead magnets, like with Boxify, this one that I just showed you guys, their 30-day sequence is like, I just want you to book a call, right? They're giving them some tips and some value on different payment methods and different processors and why you want to use Boxify over anyone else. But it's not one of those imperative, like, I need you to get every single message in this 30-day sequence to know, like, and trust the brand. And so we are on theirs doing a logic check between each day, just because the journey that we're taking them on, all we want them to do is book a call in that 30-day sequence. Whereas me, I do want you to book a call as you're going through the sequence, but more than that, I want you to go through the training and push and implement the training. So you're gonna do those actions and those follow-ups in the workflow solely based on what do you define as the customer journey map, what actions do you need to put in that workflow to facilitate it. And then for call reminders, right, again, this is like this workshop that we're going through right now. There's two different time events when you're using workflows in high level. The first one is like if you're doing a webinar or something like this, where I'm setting like this starts today on 4/1 at 10 a.m. Right. And then I have the automated drip that goes out. Well, I don't want people to receive the confirmation and the 2-day reminder and the 1-day reminder. If you guys like just opted into this yesterday, I don't want you to receive all of these messages because the right message to the right person at the right time. It wouldn't make sense for you to opt in and then get a 2-day reminder yesterday for the thing that's happening today. So there's a feature in the wait timers where you can say wait until before 2 days, right? And if they enter the sequence and that date and time is already passed, then we're going to skip all outbound communication until the next wait timer where the date and time hasn't passed. So we have these set up to where, yeah, when you opt in, I'm setting the event time. This is when my workshop starts. So this is what's going to set how the rest of these wait timers function. And then I'm tagging, I'm assigning to user, I'm sending myself a notification that we got a new DFS workshop lead. I'm adding them to my pipeline so I can visually see where people are at in the sales process. And then I'm sending them confirmation, 2-day reminder, 1-day reminder, 10-minute reminder. Now we've put a lot of, like we've run a lot of webinars, we've run a lot of booking, and we've tried a lot of different follow-up formulas, so to speak. And the formula that we found converts the best, that gets the most amount of show up without annoying the piss out of some people. You're going to annoy some people regardless, but we're going general averages here. Doing a confirmation, a 2-day reminder, a 1-day reminder, and then a 10-minute. We even tested 10 minutes versus 4-hour reminder, and 10-minute reminder out converted 4-hour. When we did 4-hour and 10 minutes, people were like, holy fuck, Marv, I get it. It's starting, right? So we got rid of the 4-hour and just went 1 day straight to 10 minutes. And then we do a couple like 2 days after, you're going to get these messages saying, how was it? Here's a link to the replay. And then 1 week later, we're going to say, yo, it's been a week. I know you at least got the customer journey map fucking lined out. If you haven't done that yet, get on my calendar so I can help you get the dual funnel system going. So that's if you're going to be running workshop. That's the unique thing I wanted to show you guys on those actions. And then when you're booking a standard call, so you can see here's Big Marv calls. I have a number of different calendars that I use. So we have the discovery call, which is the free front end calendar that anybody that's just trying to discover if the dual funnel system is right for them. We have strategy session. This is where I charge $1,000 an hour to actually get on my calendar. Here in high level, they have it built in where you can integrate with Stripe, charge on the front end of your booking calendar, and still have it all flow dynamically through workflows. Inner Circle, that's for my one-on-one clients, and then Big Marv's Network is people booking on my podcast. So I'm able, through the power of workflows, instead of having a different workflow for each of these calendar types, we're just using multiple triggers and then using an if else statement to figure out which of these calendars is for. Now you'll notice here, I didn't have to do a set event time. And that's because in high level, the set event time is based on the calendar booking. So if the trigger is based on this is coming from a calendar event, it automatically stamps whatever this event is as the event start time on the contact record in high level. So all I need to know is which calendar they came from so I can deliver the right message, right? Because in my discovery call messaging, yeah, I'm talking to them, but obviously I'm going to have some different call to actions here. So the different call to actions in the discovery call reminders is, hey, while you wait for the call, make sure you join my free Facebook group. Whereas the inner circle is, hey, while you're waiting for the call, make sure you tap into my private group, which is not available to the public. Big Marv's Network is make sure you go to Apple and YouTube and look at the other episodes of the podcast before you come do your interview in the podcast, right? So I define what are the actions that apply regardless of which calendar they came through. So regardless of which calendar they come through, every single person should get my standard subscriber tags. Every single person should be assigned to me, and I should get a notification for every single person with what calendar did they come from, right? Then it comes to, okay, now what are the unique things that happen on this journey, depending on what calendar they come in through. And then that's where on the discovery call side, they're going to go to my prospecting pipeline. On the inner circle, they're not going to go to the pipeline at all, because if they're booking on the inner circle, that means they're already a paying client. If they're booking Big Marv's network, they don't need to go in a pipeline at all, because I don't run a pipeline for my podcast. Some people run a pipeline for their podcast, so you would want one there. For a paid strategy session, you're going into the book call in the prospecting pipeline, and you're going into the sales pipeline. And so from here, it's just what's the logic check that's going to segment the audience appropriately. So I'm splitting them based on what trigger they came in. But you can also do a split based on tags. You can do a split based on who are they assigned to, right? So let's say you have one calendar, right, but multiple sales reps, and you're going to round robin to multiple sales reps. Well, you could do your logic check here to where is assigned to John, is assigned to Chelsea, is assigned to whoever, and then you could have custom messaging based specifically on those reps in your follow-up if you wanted to go that route. But it's just a matter of defining, one, what is triggering this series of events? Two, what are the actions that need to happen after they opt in, or after whatever this thing is that happened to trigger this series of events? And then three, if you are segmenting the audience, what actions apply to every single person that triggered this, and what actions need only apply if they're segmented? And then it's just a matter of building out the templates. Like in your automation goat account, you're going to have some templates that are preloaded for you, which are like basic header, footer, button, where you can modify it yourself, change out your logos, change out your social links. And then once you build out a solid template, then you can hit this clone button, and you can clone out that email as much as you want, as deep as your follow-up sequence that you mapped out here goes. And then like that is the gist of workflows. I could literally spend hours upon hours going through workflows for you guys, but that is the basic gist of like how you're going to build the workflows. You're going to strongly leverage your map. So the amount of time, effort, and energy you put into the map is going to dictate how well your workflows function and actually get people to engage with you. So if you half-ass it, you say, I send them 5 emails, one a day, every other day, and you don't actually think, because like in the dual funnel system follow-up, I'm thinking like, okay, I just taught them customer journey. How long does it take the average person to define their customer journey and map it out? And now I'm going to talk to you for a couple days on customer journey versus like, cool, that was a customer journey. Now we're going to go through this, right? It's like, no, I understand that it's going to take you longer than reading one email in a day to do it. So I'm going to tap in with you about the customer journey for at least a week before I move on to the next thing in the training. So just make sure you guys are spending the extra amount of time mapping this out, defining what this is before you go into your workflows, and your workflows are going to hit for you a lot better. Before I move on to pipelines, which is the last part of this fantastic series, does anybody have any questions, comments, concerns on workflows? And Zach, I know that's super technical, so I don't know if you have anything to add there, but do you have anything to add?
Bro, this is your Super Bowl, dog.
So in essence, it's basically what I said earlier, if this, then that, right? You have to be thinking that the whole time through this.
Yeah.
Okay.
Actually, before the platform was Automation Go, it was actually called What's Next. And my biggest thing was the simple 2-worded strategy that's going to radically change your business. And that's because if you're constantly thinking what's next, you'll know what to put in the map. Because you just want to think like, okay, they downloaded the lead magnet. What's next? Now they're going to get the confirmation email that tells them to go to the group. What's next? Now they're going to go to the group. What's next? Now they're going to fill out these 3 questions to get into the group. What's next? Now they're going to see the welcome video. What's next? Well, once they consume the welcome video, I'm going to give them XYZ to do. If they do XYZ, how long does that take? What's next, right? If you're constantly thinking what's next, if this, then that, then you'll have an incredible time like just building out the map and getting these workflows to function for you. All right, so I'm assuming there's no more questions going once. All right. And the final part is your pipelines. Your pipeline defines like what is the actual journey that these guys are going to go on. Right. So we're defining that in 2 different pipelines right now, which is prospecting. So for me, the new lead's going to come in here. Right. This is someone either downloading the dual funnel system, registering for the workshop, whatever our different traffic sources are that we're running on the front end. This is them coming in as a lead. Right. When the lead comes in, if they're in this column, that means they haven't self-booked. Right. So then Jaybird or Tasha or Zach or myself, one of us is going to log in here. We're going to start calling these leads. So our process for calling leads is we call them 3 times before we say, fuck this guy. Look, Sean, you're almost on the fuck this guy list. So we're going to call them, right? We're going to try to get a hold of them. So called lead is representative of you left a voicemail, you try to call them, they didn't pick up for whatever reason. So every day when we log in, we're going to start over here and then we're going to work our way backwards and call the leads and move them over. If we get to call lead 3 and we haven't been able to get them on an actual phone, then depending on the answers that we got from the form, we're either going to dump them into abandon or we're going to dump them into our long-term nurture. We have a year-long nurture sequence that we dump leads into that have constant call to actions to engage. And if they haven't booked a call by the end of that 1-year sequence, we just boot them off the list completely. And then follow up, this is, I got in touch with the person, I talked to the person, they let me know that they were interested in some sort of way, but they're just not ready right now. So they want us to call them back later. Right. So then we're going to try to follow up with them 3 times. And if they get to follow up 3 on that 3rd time, we're just going to review the notes, how they interacted with us, and we're either going to abandon them or long-term nurture them. They booked a call. So this is whether they book directly through the funnel or here in the platform. If you're in a contact, Orlando, I'm going to use you since you're somebody that's actually here on the call. You can see here, I can see everything that Orlando has done with me, right? So I can look at the workshop submitted that he submitted on here. I get any other forms or anything that he's filled out, any notes that I've had from any calls that I've had with them, any tasks I've assigned. So like if I go through here and click add new to book an appointment for Orlando, right? I can select what calendar I want him to go on and blah, blah, blah. And because I have the workflow set up to trigger off of this calendar, whether they go through the funnel or I manually book them here through the platform, it's still going to fire off those workflows and automations, and it's still going to put them in that spot on the pipeline. And then DFS survey complete. This is them completing the actual pre-call survey. So you can see I'm going in linear order of the funnel. New lead, then they're going to book a call, then they're going to complete the survey, and then they're going to either become a client or not become a client. Right. So if survey is complete, then I'm going to drag over here to contract sent. We have a workflow. In the workflows, you can fire advanced things called webhooks and tie it into other platforms to initiate sending the contract and automating a contract going out. Maybe you don't have a contract that goes out, maybe you do, but in my sales process, I do in the pipeline is you're just trying to define what is the linear order that they're going through in my sales process. So you can basically see them move in stages, going from new lead to prospect, to booking a call, to making a sale, to sending a contract. So they're either not going to show up for the call, I'm going to abandon the lead, or I'm going to send them a contract. And so if I were to go over here, they're going to drop now into sales, right? So we have our workflows defined that, because you can trigger workflows based on stage, right? So you can make the trigger in your workflow say, when they get to this stage of the pipeline, trigger these actions, right? So what I have happen on the prospecting pipeline and the workflow, I have it to where if I drag a contact to this stage of the pipeline, I want to automatically send a contract to them. I want to automatically mark them as one. I want to automatically put them on the sales pipeline, where now they're going to get an automated email. So they're going to sit there under contract sent until they sign it. Once they sign it, now they're going to drop as a one contact into the sales pipeline saying they signed their contract. Then the next thing that we're going to send them is an email saying, yo, welcome to the family officially. Thank you so much for signing the contract. Next things to do is to make your payment, right? And this is what that fulfillment funnel actually looks like, right? So here's the GOAT program. So when somebody signs a contract, the next thing we do is send them to this funnel page that says step 3, thanks for signing. Next step is payment. And this actually works like a funnel, so they don't have to wait until the pipeline stages change. Once they make the payment, the very next page they're going to see is the onboarding survey. Then once they complete the onboarding survey, the next thing they're going to see is step 5. Now it's time to book your onboarding call. Then once they book their onboarding call, now it's onboarding is complete. Thank you so much. Join the private group, right? So our pipelines are literally just a visual representation of what are we doing through the sales process, right? So because some people are going to make the payment, but they don't have the time to spend an hour going through the onboarding survey to give us all the answers we need in the onboarding survey. So they might come back to it later. So what we do is when it's signed, we send them the email saying, make your payment, make your payment, make your payment. We're doing a logic check of did they pay the invoice or did they not pay the invoice, because they get tagged appropriately when they pay an invoice. And then, so if they haven't paid it, we're going to keep logic checking. It gets to a 2-week period of automatic logic checking. Then it notifies a human saying, hey, this person signed their contract. It's been 2 weeks, but they haven't made their payment yet. Follow up and find out what's going on. Then once they make that payment, they're going to jump into the next workflow, which is driving them to the next step of the funnel, the stage 4, the step 4 of the funnel, which is onboarding survey, right? So now they're going to sit in this stage of the pipeline where they're looking at, like, they need to book their onboarding call and complete their onboarding survey. So they're going to sit here, and you can see it's a pretty in-depth onboarding survey. That's why it takes most of our clients about an hour to get us this information that we need. So now they're just going to sit here until they complete it. We're going to keep reminding them. Once they complete it, then we're going to remind them, like, okay, now that you completed the survey, the next step to take is to book your onboarding call. Then we're going to hit them over and over and over and over again until they book their onboarding call. Then once their onboarding call is booked, we're going to have an onboarding call, myself and the client, or Zach and the client, whichever one of us does the onboarding. Then we're going to add them to group. Then we have another thing in the back end that says, once we add them to group, now we're going to send them the welcome email series that says, here's your Google Drive link. This is what we need you to upload. Welcome to the family. Looking forward to building your DFLs. Let's clap hands, hold together, say hallelujah. We got you through the process, right? So that is the general gist of the pipelines, is just a visual representation of either your lead acquisition or your sales or your fulfillment process, whatever that may be. You would set up the pipeline, define what are the different stages that people go through. And then whenever you set up your workflows, you can add an action in your workflow that says when this thing gets triggered, add an action to put them at this stage of the pipeline because this is where they're at based on this thing being triggered. Does that make sense to everyone? All right, so that was pipelines, you guys. That's the dual funnel system in a gist. And then we actually thought it was going to take me 4 or 5 hours to do this, and it only took 3.5. So we even hit it under the mark that I thought it was going to take. Now I'm going to open the floor to any questions, comments, concern. Now that you guys, you've pulled the curtain back, you've seen every single facet of the dual funnel system and how we build and deliver it to folks. Is any of you guys that are still, which by the way, y'all need to clap yourselves on the fucking back for sitting through a 3.5 hour fucking Saturday morning, really technical workshop. But yeah, I'll give you guys the floor. Feel free to.
Hey Marv, I got a question.
Yeah,
How long have you been using the high level platform?
since beta. I've
Since
been in
beta,
since
okay.
beta. I got over 6,000 hours specifically in launching systems on high level.
Okay, we use this as a CRM. I want to say we moved off of it probably around the summer of last year. There became a point where I don't know the logistics and the technicalities behind it, but something was happening where we overloaded the system with so much data. I want to say we probably had about 1,700 leads or contacts in the system at that time, where a lot of our automations and I don't know, things were just kind of breaking down. It was real buggy, where our certain automations or our texting systems weren't working, or calls, like our calling system that we were using out of that wasn't working. Would you say that there maybe it had been a point in time they were going through those issues and that's kind of been rectified or fixed, or do you think maybe there's probably something else there that we just maybe never got to the bottom of figuring out?
I think it's going to be a combination of both. Without actually seeing the system and getting in there and touching it, like we personally put hundreds of thousands of leads. We send millions of emails a month, millions of follow-up. Like 1,700 is a drop in the bucket to like the systems and stuff that we're running through high level. I know when they first rolled out workflows, like there was a lot of those little glitches and stuff. Like we have clients where sometimes high level just doesn't make sense, right? Like high level works for 90% of the builds that we do, but we have plenty of clients where high level was not the right fit. Like that's why I'm a systems engineer. I'm not staying loyal to a platform. I say, let's dive into the strategy. Let's map out what needs to happen, and then we'll figure out what's the best platform to execute this journey, right? Because we have some clients where Salesforce was a better fit for them. HubSpot was a better fit for them. Klaviyo and Shopify was a better fit for them because of what they were trying to achieve, right? So without seeing it, it could be a combination of maybe y'all were there right when they were working on that specific bug in workflows. There's plenty of limitations that we've hit in high level when we're doing custom development and custom series, where we've had to go either high level isn't the answer here, or in most cases, building an interim database that does all the heavy lifting for us and then sending data to and from high level is fixed a lot of those like subsync problems. And we build an interim database irregardless, because if God forbid anything happens to high level, we don't want to lose the data that's in high level. So us as security engineers, we already do an interim backup database for every single build to begin with, which is a more technical thing that the average user doesn't even know what the fuck I'm talking about when I say interim database, right? So it 100% just depends on the system. Without looking at it, I'm going to rule that you guys just pulled out without figuring out the solution to the problem, because I've just seen so many businesses do it. I'm basing this solely on statistics, not you, but solely on statistics. Out of all the people that I've worked with, they've pulled out of tools or moved to other tools simply because they weren't working with an expert, because there's 1,000 ways to skin a cat, right? Like my expertise is my expertise based on what I've personally built and engineered over the last 20 years of my career, right? Well, if you talk to somebody who all they've built on is active campaign for the last 10 years and they've never touched high level, that person's going to tell you, yeah, that's just a high level glitch, just a high level bug. Let's move you over here, because they're confident in that active campaign solution, even though they high level could have easily been the solution, but because the expert that you talked to wasn't familiar or didn't know how to solve the problem there, they knew how to solve the problem over here. They're going to move you over there to solve the problem versus reverse engineering what is the root cause of the problem and then putting you somewhere where it actually fixes the root cause versus like buying. So many people buy software because they think the software is the solution, right? This software stack is the magic button or the silver bullet that I need. And I just gotta say 90% of the time, it boils down to whoever engineered the system and how they engineered it, and it has nothing to do with the tool itself.
I got you. Thank you, Marv. What I'll do is I'll try to collect that info from our guy and maybe shoot you like a private message about it.
We'll be here anytime. Orlando, I saw you unmuted for a second. Did you have something you wanted to add?
I just kind of wanted to add to what Marv was saying. High level, they just got some serious funding, bro. And during that time, they were doing a lot of growing pains just because it is a great platform. It was, like I said, I've been with it since beta as well. And more than likely, did you have a specific rep that you guys talked to from the high level support?
I'm not sure. One of the co-founders of our company is our main web developer, system developer as well. So I don't have the exact answer to that question or know what the exact problems were, but I was just curious to kind of pick you guys' brain and just asking, because what you guys showed today would work extremely well for us and what we're trying to do. The issue is we just swapped from Service Provider Pro. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that CRM or not, into another CRM called, I think it's called Plutio, where we're trying to incorporate everything into one central hub, so we don't have to use, Google Drive for docs, PandaDoc for agreements. We're trying to consolidate everything into one place for our entire team. So I know if I brought this to my developer, the last thing he's going to want to do is possibly switch back to something else after he just built this out for us for the last 3 weeks. But yeah, I don't know what the internal issues were. I just know that it was causing a serious bottleneck inside our workflows, and the volume that we were producing at that time, we just couldn't. We had to find another solution very quick just to kind of keep operations moving. But based off what Marv showed today, I know it worked really well for what we're trying to do. I just have to figure out a way of, presenting that information to my guy. And that's why I asked Marv for you to record this, because I'm going to eventually just push that over to him.
Oh yeah, and if you guys ever want, this is one of the things that people pay me to consult for them the most, right? Is, hey, we're running into this problem. Before we dive into re-engineering and rebuilding and swapping and doing all this other crazy shit, can you just look at what we're doing and give us a strategy? Let us know, are we on the right path? Do you know a better solution for it? So if you want, I'm always happy to hop on a call with like you, the other engineers on your team, whoever's building and filling with this, get real nerdy with them and tell them like, yeah, you guys are on the right path, or hey, you could have done it this way. Because that's the other side of the coin, right? When you're building and engineering systems, it's like I said earlier, it's an ever-evolving organism, right? Like Garrett, he could easily wait until we have the SaaS 100% dialed in, all the bells and whistles, everything, how he envisions Upsurge being 5 years from now, right? But rather than waiting the 5 years for us to get that perfect dialed in system of like all the bells and whistles, we understand technology, and technology is going to evolve. So what we see 5 years from now is going to look drastically different in 5 years, irregardless, right? So in some instances, it is worth it to wait like the 6 months, develop it properly, hit the ground properly with the system, because it would be such a burden to re-engineer or redo other things. And in other cases, it's better to just hit the ground, get something in place, something that's functional, gets you 90% of the way there, and then you develop something custom. We have a number of clients where high level wasn't the perfect everything exactly what they needed, but it did give them over 90% of the functionality that they wanted, which allowed them to bring in revenue, which would give them enough revenue for it to make sense to say, Marv, here's $100,000, build us a custom application from the ground up that encompasses X, Y, and Z. Because I have yet in all my years of experience found something that it was plug and play where it met 100% of all needs that we wanted without doing some sort of custom integration, custom development, some sort of project. So I always say, like, let's map out what it is you're trying to achieve. Let's pick industry standard tools that are on the market right now that are the lowest cost to entry to get you 90% plus functionality. Make that earn you money first, then take the money and revenue you earn from that, bring in an expert to take you to that 100%. Because it's very, very easy to get stuck in that paralysis analysis where you spend weeks and months thinking of this is how it could be, or this is how you do want to do it. And then there's one thing you can't get back, which is time. And so I'm always big on like, what's our time risk there? What's the time analysis of like, if we do it this way, it's going to take a year to deploy. If we do it this way, it's only going to take 3 months to deploy. We're going to have these couple of things that we don't really like about it, but we can still deploy it. And now we're running in 3 months versus 12 months. Does that make sense? Like,
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
very
absolutely.
hard for me to get more granular than that without seeing the actual project, but that's kind of the 30,000 foot view of when I'm looking at systems and how can we do it better.
I got you. Thank you, Marv.
Yeah, of course. Anybody else got some questions for me while you got me? Our questions for Zach. Zach's camera's not on, but I know he's still here.
I'm here.
Hey, Marv, so you were showing sites on there. That's not something that I'm using. Are those sites that you were using for your pages, or is that just linking to the website, or is that a part of High Level?
So my core website, marvinsworld.us and Automation Goat, those are both built on WordPress. I have a dedicated WP Engine server where we host all my websites and all my client websites. And we're utilizing Elementor Pro, which has the webhook feature where we can webhook information from Elementor forms back into the Goat. And so we're either embedding high level calendars here. I'll show you an example. You guys see the Goat, or you guys see my Facebook?
Goat.
Goat. All right. So there's my core website. Right. So here on my core website, like this contact page, for example, this is an embedded, of course, it's not going to show while I'm trying to demo it. This is an embedded high level form whenever it decides to load. There it goes. This is embedded high level form. So obviously, if they submit this, they're going to go back into the platform, and then I just have a workflow that triggers based on this form submission. Whereas on the front end, when you hit book now, that's going to go to a page that's on a website that has the calendar from High Level embedded. Right. So we're either going to use a custom form where we're webhooking the information using Zapier or Make or custom API to get it back into High Level, or we're utilizing, because everything that you build in High Level, you can embed. So like your forms, for example, let's say you're using JotForm or SurveyMonkey or one of those things. This can replace that, because when you go to integrate the form, you get the option of a sticky sidebar form, polite slide in. Do you want it to be a pop-up? Do you want it to be an inline? Then you can copy the embed code and put that embed code on any website that supports, which most website these builders are these days supports the Elementor, WordPress, ClickFunnels, Kajabi. I don't give a fuck what it is. They all support embeds. Or you can even copy the link form, where this is a link that you can send someone and this will go directly into it. So if you built like a WordPress site, it's not ideal to just send them direct to this ugly ass link that doesn't have any branding on it. But from a technically speaking, you could just make like a link click go directly to a form link if you wanted to run it that way. So that's how we're integrating the core like website into high level. Then anywhere we're driving traffic, like the dual funnel system.com, this is an actual funnel that's built inside the high level platform. So all of our funnels like DFS.ROIF, like this is like, these are funnels that are built inside a high level. And then we have our core WordPress sites. Damn it, I lost my WordPress site. But then there's our core WordPress sites like automationgoat.com, where this is built in WordPress. And then anywhere we're capturing or submitting data, we're using information that's directly embedded or pulled from high level.
Okay.
And it works the same way with forms. It works the same way with surveys. You can embed surveys. There's a chat widget you can embed. So like the chat widget that you see on the website is the chat widget from in here. But if you guys didn't want to do a WordPress site, so we do WordPress solely for long-term SEO growth, because we release blogs in tandem. But we even have WordPress hosting on here. I personally just have my own dedicated WP Engine WordPress server. If I didn't have that, I'd probably host my WordPress site through here. But you can run your blogs, you can run your WordPress site, you can run your forms, your surveys, your member sites, all of it directly here through the platform, and it all dynamically integrates with each other. Hopefully that answered your question, Garrett. All right, Casey or Trey, you guys got anything you want to add to it? Or any questions, comments, concerns?
No, I am checking out your website and stuff though.
All right, well, if you guys don't have anything else, I think I call it. We've been here almost 4 hours. Oh, Casey, you got something. Let's hear it, brother.
Yeah, what kind of support do you get with this again?
So we have our chat support. So there's the live chat that I just showed you. We have email support. We have my Facebook group where you can post in. We're going to be doing these live workshops and Q&As every week in the group starting in April. And then we have premium support. So if the chat's unavailable, the group's unavailable, or that my standard support team can't answer you, we have Scott, who you can email. He's my CTO. He runs all the client success for us. You can email him and he'll respond to you within 48 hours with a solution. Or if it happens very rarely. Sometimes it's something that is like, oh, that's a high level issue, we can't fix it. Happens very rarely, but even then he'll at least respond to you and let you know, like, hey, that's a known issue, this is what we're doing about it. But you get that, and then that's just with basic subscription to the Automation Goat platform. Participant with the workshop, I'm doing a special where you get 6 months of the Automation Goat for $9.97. So it's basically $2K a year for that level of access and level of support. If you were to come in outside of the workshop, it's $4.97 a month. So you're saving like, I don't know, 5 or 6 grand by participating in the workshop and getting the platform through the workshop.
So, and then you guys build all that for 5 grand too, right?
Yeah. So for 5 grand, we do your dual funnel. We do all the workflows, the calendars. We write all the copy. We do all the design work. Like, your only job is we're going to send you video scripts. You're going to have to shoot videos based on the scripts that we give you. You're going to have to provide images. When we ask for images, we're going to send you all the copy and say, hey, you need to review this and write it in your voice and give us a final version back. You're going to have to record the voicemail drops, obviously, because I can't call and say, what's good? This is Casey.
Yeah.
Feed magnet, right? So that's your responsibility. We do everything else. We do the build, the design, the workflows, and then you even get some one-on-one time with me. So like our very first call is spending 2 hours together going through that customer journey one-on-one, mapping it out. So I'm going to help you come up with the offer. I'm going to help you craft that customer journey, exactly what the dual funnel system is going to look like for you. Then we're going to send back to the team. They're going to get it all designed. Even if you don't even have a logo or branding guide yet, we're going to design your logo. We're going to design the branding guide. We're going to basically give you the foundation, everything that you need. So, because I don't want you to build this shit. I understand everything.
I've been trying to build it for like 2 years, and this now I know why it's so fucking hard.
Yeah, I don't want you guys to have to do it. I give you the training because I've been there where I'm like, trust me, bro, I want to give you $5,000, but I just don't fucking have it. So tell me what I can do to go earn $5,000 to come back and pay you. And unfortunately, so many of these 997 motherfuckers out here don't live by that. So I'm just like, I will give you everything because it's just going to benefit me to give you everything to teach you how to do it. For you. Right?
So after we do like the $5,000 and whatnot, is there a continuing fee for using the high level and everything, or is that all included for like a year or 6 months, or how's that work?
So again, it's like $497 a month or $997 for 6 months at a time. And so you get that option when you opt for the dual funnel system. You can either say, yeah, I'm just going to commit to 6 months at a time and take that savings, or you can say, I'm just going to do it $497 a month and whatever.
Gotcha.
And you can always change that. But, 2 months into it, you already pay for 6 months. So it's just, we try to make it a really like no brainer. I'd be dumb to not do it this route offer,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no shit. Thank you.
Yeah. And then as far as like anything beyond that, because we are a full stack agency, so we can run ads for you. We can curate your social media. Like our highest level plan is us flying out to you with our media team and shooting all your content for you and editing all your videos and publishing it. So we have retainer packages that are solely based on how much ad spend, right? Because if you don't give us a dedicated ad budget, you're not going to get an ROI on our retainer because I give you the best fucking system in the world, but without traffic, it's a useless fucking system. So our retainers go from 5K to 20K a month, just solely depending on what are we fulfilling for you? What are we managing for you?
Awesome. Thank you for the info.
Yeah, of course. Anybody else got anything? All right. Well, hopefully this was awesome information. I know it was information from a fire hose, but again, I recorded the whole thing. I'm gonna be dropping it on my Facebook. We're gonna drop it in the Automation Legends group, and you guys will receive some email automation with the replay. So we'll get that process, get that out for you guys. If you have any other questions, comments, or concerns, Zach and I are here for you. Feel free to tap in with us at any time. Again, we're going to be hosting these workshops every single week. This workshop, I'm going to be hosting this workshop every month, but we're going to be doing Q&As every single week in the Automation Legends group. And then eventually these workshops are going to become let's get together in the flesh and do this and actually build some dual funnel systems live. But right now I'm in that discovery phase of, do people even fucking want this? So the fact that I got 5 of you to hang out with me for 4 hours proves the concept a little bit that some people might want this. So I'm going to keep at it until I get nobody showing up. But hopefully I get more people and not less. But Zach, you got anything else you want to tell these guys before we get out of here?
No, I don't think so. Just if anyone is interested, like get at us and we'll get you in and out within 30 days. I mean, we got this process down to pretty quick science. So you can either fuck around with it for the next 2 years. Like I don't know who it was that was on here saying that, Casey, or, you can just drop 5 G's and start making some money in the next 30 days. So whatever y'all need from us, just let us know. But we're here to help you, whether you spend money with us or not. Like, we're a firm believer that if we can help everyone in our community grow, that it's going to come back to us tenfold in the long run. So whether you drop 5 G's with us now or anything else, we're here for you guys.
Couldn't said it better myself.
And we do take credit cards too. Like we ain't scared of no chargebacks. Like we know we produce a product, because if you do a chargeback, we'll turn your shit off. But but we ain't worried about it, bro.
Yeah.
Awesome content, guys.
Yeah, and Garrett's a live example. If any of you guys are questioning, like, is Big Marv real? Does he really build these systems and do this? Garrett is somebody that we're on a call every Monday talking about his systems and how he can grow and continue to scale. He could probably attest more than anyone else on this call of my dedication to your success. And just being there for you, because again, your success is my success. So let's get out there and build some dual funnel systems and fucking be successful in this world. You guys, thanks so much again for hanging out with me today. I really appreciate it, and I will see you guys on the next one. One love.
Thank you, Marv.
Peace.